Okay, the show's gonna start.
Hello.
We
And bam.
And
banned.
all right. What's going on, internet? What's happening? Oh, hi. Oh, hi. You gonna come over here and bother me too? She says I want treats.
She has to. That's her
George,
job.
you're too excited there. We can hear your little
Yeah,
fun thing going off there.
What is
yeah,
that?
it's all the updates
buzzing.
that from
Oh.
I'm trying to like clear them all. All right, shut up already.
He's shaving.
That's
No, sounds like
his
you got the fun chair.
That's his electric toothbrush.
My electric toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
hello.
it's the one with the pink handle, right?
Mm.
Not the blue one.
Handle. Oh,
Well, it was a pink handle. It's a brown
Well,
handle.
it was red at one time. It just had so
Brown.
long it's faded.
That'd be orange. Brown and red makes orange, right?
it's
There you
cafe color.
So what's going on, everybody? We're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, I think, tonight. Do a little Thanksgiving BS. Talk about some of the things we're looking forward to, food wise. Maybe some hints, some tips. Anybody out there wants to ask any questions? I mean, we could answer them. See what people like to do. I have that Matt show that he had pulled up this map of the U.S. with the favorite sides from each state, like the most popular side from each state, and some of them are pretty crazy and totally unbelievable. So I figured we'd look at that because that was pretty goofy looking. Moo, what's going on with you, buddy?
Oh, still got a house full of relatives. That's why I'm down here talking to you, fine gentlemen.
I know, right? When you hear your best friend saying, "So, what's the weekend looking for you?" I'm gonna have a bunch of relatives over, and you think to yourself, "God, I feel sorry for the bastard man."
No, it was pretty fun. We did did a pork shoulder and a lot of pork sandwiches on Saturday, and I don't know, watched some sports ball on Saturday.
Barf.
And it was nice weather out. We sat outside on the deck for a while, watched the deer, just chilled. Everybody, my in-laws live in BFE, so when they get over here, we're close to the mall and all the shopping and stuff, and Sam's Club. So they all go out and do some shopping while they're here. So that gives me a few minutes. So, but now the kids are all upstairs, rummaging around all my stuff. So I came down here. So yeah. Thanks for the
invite. Always, man. Ape, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot. Been working overtime and going to be working a lot of overtime this month. So
works.
Fun.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The holiday season's coming up, man.
Make that money.
It's hard. It makes it hardest, but yeah, make that money. And once you get that check, you're like, whoa, yeah.
I hate the government even more than I did before. Before I was just found them like benign, like you're not messing with me right now, but now you're messing with me. So,
And George, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? And hello there, YouTube. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. Boy, not a whole lot today. Today, actually, kind of woke up late than usual. I don't know what it was with this freaking change time zone thing. The daylight savings. I thought they said it's supposed to go back. Then somebody said no.
Keep going.
He's doing
he did the time warp.
He got
it's
by big time.
Yeah. He was talking shit about the time change and the government wiped him out. Poor guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about that now.
No, I don't want none of that trouble. G23's out there throwing out questions. He says the differences between sweet potatoes and yams. Yams are starchier, not as sweet. Sweet potatoes are sweeter and softer, not as starchy.
And one's spelled differently than the other.
And then they have different words. There are different words, yes. There he is. He back. Is dirty rice a Thanksgiving dish? I guess it could be. Sure, why not? You got nothing to lose, right? I've seen people do like stuffings with rice too. They'll actually stuff like turkey with like a almost like a dirty rice kind of thing, put it inside the turkey, bake the turkey. And I bet that tastes, it's kind of odd. Like I would rather have stuffing in there, but I bet you that tastes awesome, to tell you the truth. I bet you that'd be super good. And then pumpkin cheesecake and pumpkin pie, or just cheesecake. I don't, that's a tough one because I love pumpkin pie. I really like pumpkin cheesecake. I think I would take pumpkin pie over pumpkin cheesecake because I do like pumpkin. So I think I would rather have pumpkin pie and cheesecake separate than just a pumpkin cheesecake. I would like to have one of each. I don't know. What's up, barbecue? What's happening?
Not much. How about yourself?
Oh, same old shit.
Mm-hmm. Heard that.
Talking nonsense, you know?
Very nice.
Let me find this map.
Dora.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, here we go. Here's a map of favorite Thanksgiving sides by state. So, this is from Zippia, whatever the hell that is. It says it's a career resource site. So, this is each state's most popular Thanksgiving side. So I call bullshit on a bunch of these, but let's see what happens here. So what's weird to me is that there's certain things that just I feel like everybody has, right? And sometimes there's variations on it, like the type of mashed potatoes, or the type of sweet potatoes, whether you do them a certain way or not. Some people have sweet potatoes and not mashed potatoes. Like, I get that. Like, there's going to be some differences. There's going to be some. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many people they polled for this dumbass thing, but
that's crazy.
Some of them, like. Baked potato. Yeah, baked potato out here in what state is that? That's I'm not good with states. I'm horrible with states.
Colorado, isn't it?
Is that Colorado that is Colorado. Yep. Colorado. So Colorado baked potato. That's okay. So that means that more people in Colorado have baked potatoes as the side for Thanksgiving than anybody, and then anything else. I call shenanigans on that. Well, I call shenanigans.
I don't. You think about Colorado, it is a baked potato. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. It's legally baked. Up here in Washington, they have roasted vegetables. I don't know about that. That's a little bit odd. They're saying that more families in Washington have roasted vegetables for Thanksgiving than mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes or anything like that. I don't know. Side salad in Idaho. Yeah, that's a weird one.
The heck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did they just ask Honda to go state by state and just guess which one?
I think so. They might have.
When did Rob D start living in Idaho?
I know, right?
I don't think they asked Honda because I don't think he can pronounce the word charcuterie.
Well, Matt had this map in his show.
Well, that's where I first saw it, and I was like, okay, let's pull this up and talk about this because this is so funny. Okay, up here in the north, up here by Canada, maybe it's because it's Canada. It's weird. There's charcuterie tray in that state.
The hell charcuterie?
Well, it's like a meat and cheese, like cured meats, like salami, sopressata.
So they can just say that we got to have a fancy name that nobody cares about.
That's like a meat and cheese tray. You can't say that. Charcuterie.
Yeah.
Sophisticated like that.
There's another baked potato right beside it. And then is that Michigan that has rolls? That's Michigan, right? So
see, somebody's just looking in my bedroom window.
Well, if you remember to put your shirt back on.
with your shirt off.
We're just gonna find a lot of pumpkin pie and rolls, you know.
I was doing jumping jacks.
Dad, why is your
No,
favorite
no.
side the rolls? Because it reminds you of your mother.
So there's another charcuterie tray down here. That's creamed corn in Kansas. Gizzard says that's such bullshit. Nobody that I know of eats creamed corn. Period. Let
And
it
look at all
on
of
Thanksgiving
Texas too.
Yep, all of Texas. So if you go to Texas, if you go to 1,000 houses, more houses will have creamed corn than anything else. I call shenanigans.
That's BS.
That's so good.
Like in my family, we'll have like say stuffing, we'll have mashed potatoes, we'll have green beans, casserole, and stuff like that. But cream corn, I've never seen that.
That shithole South Carolina can't decide on one single barbecue sauce. You're telling me that they're all deciding to have freaking green beans?
Right. Yep. Collard greens. No, it's collard greens. It's not green beans.
Oh, I'm blind. Whatever.
Collard greens.
It's collard greens. Okay. And I think people will just assume that's I call shenanigans on that one too, even though because it's the South, people look at that and they're like, yeah, they're weird. They probably have collard greens. I doubt it. Then you got some stuff up here. Maryland collard greens. Come on. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me that Maryland collard greens in Maryland is the most popular Thanksgiving side. That's bullshit. No way.
And look,
2013.
Look at Louisiana.
Delaware.
Louisiana's the only one with cornbread dressing.
Yeah, cornbread. Yeah, I could see that.
No,
I mean, I could
cornbread
see
dressing out of Louisiana.
Right. Yeah. I mean, okay.
How's cornbread dressing?
Well, like stuffing, like a cornbread stuffing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Except it ain't stuffed up the bunghole of the turkey.
Well, I think of dressing. I'm thinking like they're meeting up with Idaho for the salad and.
So so cornbread, okay, because you can do cornbread stuffing, you can do cornbread rolls, you can do cornbread, whatever. Okay, I'll let that one slide. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Do you smoke cornbread?
T-Mont wants us all to send him some green beans now.
We could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't had smoked cornbread, I highly suggest having some. It's amazing.
I don't like cornbread.
What?
No, it's too mealy.
I love cornbread. It's got to be the right one, not the super sweet one.
That's gross.
I'm looking at you like from like that movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Donald Sutherland when he's doing the
Yeah, pod person.
Say like
the mood right now. I'm pointing at mood.
The Northeast is sort of normal up here. We've got stuffing, mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, stuffing.
So, but who the hell has mac and cheese for friggin' Thanksgiving?
A lot of people do. That's actually pretty popular.
But
usually like especially for little kids that are finicky eaters.
Now,
sometimes they love mac and
we're not
cheese.
talking the 5 and 10 box of stuff. We're talking some premium gourmet shit. They put the crushed up saltine crackers on top of the 5 and 10 box.
Macaroni Royale.
And it's baked.
I will say this too. Vermont with mac and cheese, there's a lot of nice cheese made up in Vermont, like Vermont cheddars.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, I could see that. That actually, I can figure that. I can make that. Down here at Rhode Island, they have glazed carrots. Okay, like a candied carrot or a honey glazed carrot. Okay. Connecticut, mashed potatoes. New Jersey, stuffed mushrooms.
Those freaking weirdos.
Stuffed mushrooms. Whoa.
And then down here in Biden's territory, Delaware, cauliflower mashed potatoes. What the hell is a cauliflower mashed potato?
That's that low carb substitute for mashed potatoes.
I guess
I make them.
So you're telling me that in New Jersey, more houses
or higher,
more places have stuffed mushrooms in New Jersey than stuffing or corn, or
disgusting.
And Delaware, more people have cauliflower mashed potatoes than stuffing or corn or anything like that. And there's stuff here like they consider gravy a side, which is weird. I don't necessarily turkey gravy. Are you telling me that? Right. I wouldn't consider it a side, but I mean, I can see it, but they obviously are considering it a side because it's on this list up here at the top. So you're telling me that more people have a charcuterie tray or a fruit salad in those states than turkey gravy? I don't think so. I say this
Sounds
is
about
bullshit.
right.
Hey, scroll down a little bit so we can see what it says, how they compile this map.
It says, okay, get your arguing pants on, everybody, because we've got a Thanksgiving map for you. This one features America's favorite Thanksgiving sides by state. It's provided by Zippia. So it's favorite sides, not most eaten sides, I guess.
Or most Googled.
But you figure if it's
But
favorite,
still.
it's got to be most eaten.
You would think so.
Oh,
I
he
mean-
might be onto something.
It says it uses Google Trends to determine each state's most searched sides.
Ah.
So it's not so much that, it's, like this trendy shit.
Why would Michigan be Googling rolls?
I don't know. You guys are pretty screwy there. Maybe you had a bunch of abandoned children who
I'm going to type in
never got
where
made.
to buy rolls near me.
Yeah.
This
So
like-
Did you mean Rolaids by you?
So in Delaware, they're
Two lives
Googling
move. OnlyFans.
cauliflower mashed potatoes is getting highly Googled. Stuffed mushrooms in New Jersey is getting highly. It doesn't have anything to do with the most popular. It's just what they're Googling. That's even dumber. This thing is
That's
bullshit.
whack.
This is stupid.
Whack.
I call nonsense.
Well, it's it's just misleading then. It doesn't have that. It says most popular side. It doesn't say most searched sides or
Who's Googling side salad?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that about.
Or
I was going to say
potato.
that about. I was going to say that about Oklahoma. Like, you telling me more people during Thanksgiving Google baked potato than they do turkey or stuffing?
I mean, they did have the Tiger King as their official state bird for a while.
Oh, you
so.
mean there's potatoes in that? Baked?
The Tiger King.
Wait a minute. Well, you mean there's a recipe for this? Well, I'm surprised. Every time I put the potato in the microwave, I end up blowing up a microwave.
You got to have heat and a potato. There's your recipe.
Yeah. Bam, boom, done.
Some gourmet shit right there.
Oh, stuffed mushrooms in Alaska too. I bet.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, because we all know that Alaska is the stuffed mushroom capital of the United States. I mean, everybody knows that.
Well,
right?
they heard that Virginia, or no, wait, who was the other stuffed mushroom?
Jersey.
They heard Jersey was onto something.
What's Hawaii?
Mashed potatoes.
Hawaii is actually an island off the. No, I'm just kidding.
It's our 50th state.
Well, there's a
It's
lot of
one of the
mashed
freak
potatoes.
states.
The West. It's funny how the West Coast and Hawaii are all mashed potatoes. Maybe it's because they don't eat mashed potatoes a lot, so they all have to Google it to figure out how to make it.
How do I do this? I actually
Well, there's ways. Yes, it's easy to make mashed potatoes, but it's a little bit trickier to make like good, decent mashed potatoes. Like, this. Well, is this butter or is it cream? Or they put something else in it that was kind of different.
Yeah.
I had a mashed potato breakthrough a week or two ago.
What
A
happened?
complete accident. I was kind of in a rush. I was like, I'm going to cut these small, and then like I'm getting tired of cutting these small. So like half potatoes got cut real small, then the others I cut normal. Basically just quartering them. So then when I went to mash everything, some of them mashed up where they were, really a creamy potato, but I also like a lumpy potato. So the ones that were normal size ended up being lumpy. Then I was like, oh my God, I've got a really creamy mashed potato with lumps in it. This is incredible, because I like both, but I always had to choose, do I want creamy mashed potatoes this time or do I want lumpy? And then I was like, so if I just cut the potatoes to different sizes, because that should have been common sense in the first place, I could have best of both worlds.
There you go.
Cool.
Who the hell has to Google how to make a baked potato? Yeah.
I know, right?
You got Green Bean Boy in the green room.
Uh-oh. Is it
Uh-oh.
Patriot?
So we
Oh.
thought that Rob D was apparently in Idaho because of the side salad, but So if this is Google search results, does that mean that Rick is actually the one in Idaho?
I don't know, man. All I know is, like, I don't know what state is above. What state is that? Fruit
Nebraska.
salads up there. Two
North
down
Dakota,
from
South
that. They got
Dakota, Nebraska.
crescent roll.
Yeah,
Roll is the
You go
what
get
the
the
hell?
Pillsbury thing, and then you just read the
Yeah.
container.
Yeah, that's the most Googled. That's the most Googled thing in that state on Thanksgiving is crescent roll. Okay.
You said that's Nebraska?
Okay, I don't know. I'm not good
Yeah,
at
that's
states.
Nebraska.
They probably
Oh, God.
know how to open that tube.
Yeah, you just slam it on the counter and it explodes up, and just
Yep.
like everybody knows that.
Yep.
Those pull tabs never work. They're the worst thing ever. They always rip, and then you just end up slamming it on the counter to try and get the thing to explode
I
open.
just see the guy that invented that packaging going,
Yeah. You slam it on the counter and it opens up like one of those inflatable slides off of a crashed plane.
Yeah, what's the worst part is it doesn't open. You whack it on the table a couple of times. You think, well, I'll let it sit and maybe it'll rip open. You turn around or you barely look at the thing and pow! Red Dell all in the face.
Yeah.
Which, if you're into that kind of thing, is
in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then pulled up this. I didn't get a chance to read this because I was looking up. I was like, let's find an article about tips, like Thanksgiving tips, and see if we approve of these tips that these people.
I thought
just the tips.
Something else.
Just the tip. So this is from the Today Show, I guess, or whatever the hell today is, and it says 34 essential tips, Thanksgiving tips from all-star chefs. I am not.
What a weird ass
chef.
number. 34.
Yeah, 34. I know. I don't know why it
Sounds
would be
like bullshit. I mean, it doesn't sound official like 10 or 5 or something like that. This is padding.
It says 30 plus chefs and experts share their tips for cooking Thanksgiving dinner, including tricks for the perfect turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, pies, and mo.
Says Lack.
And mo. So here we go. Let's see what their tips are. Turkey tips. Here's how to make a juicy bird with crispy skin, and how to know when it's done, but not overdone. Let the turkey sit overnight in the fridge, uncovered. Jeffrey Zakarian's a big shot for sure. He does a lot of Food Network stuff. He's legit. He's legit. Yeah, he's not a joke. But he said, letting the skin dry out open in the fridge. That makes sense. I like that.
Yep.
I think a bigger tip for getting a crispy skin is to separate the skin from the breast. Even if you don't put anything under it, like you can if you put your hand or like a wooden spoon or something between the skin and the breast meat and lift it off, peel it off, you can throw some herbs, some lemon, some butter, some garlic seasoning underneath that, and that is awesome. But just pulling that skin off gives it a chance to render down faster. And I'll tell you what, I think that is a better tip than to just let it sit open in your fridge overnight. I bet you that would help even better. So thanks, Jeff, but I'll stick with my method. Spatchcock your turkey to cut cooking time in half. Okay, I'll allow that. Spatchcock, where you actually cut the backbone out of it and flatten it down. We've talked about how I do my turkey a bunch of times, where I debone it. I leave the bones in the leg and thigh, but I take the breast meat and debone it and marinate everything, brine it and marinate it, and then cook it, and it turns out awesome because it cooks really quick. Yeah, it does really, really well. I think everybody really digs my turkey when we do it. So they talk about spatchcocking, which is also a great way. I agree with that 100%. You could also put weights on it when you spatchcock things to really if you put like a cast iron pan on top of it, then it gives it some direct heat to the skin, and it almost gets like, it can get crispy almost like you pan fry it or something. It's really pretty slamming.
That's the only time the weights ever get used in my house.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen some kind of redneck stuff where people take a brick and wrap it in aluminum foil and then some brush on it. Mm-hmm.
Yep, brick chicken. They just call it brick chicken. Yep. For sure. Roast your spices before rubbing them on your turkey. I'll allow it. I think that's a good one. I think even if you just toss them in a medium hot saute pan for a couple of seconds, that does make a huge difference. I know, I make a really nice breakfast sausage, and one of the things that I always do is roast or pan toast the fennel before I make sausage. It makes a huge difference. So, bringing those oils, warming those oils up in your herbs and your spices can make a big difference. That's a good one.
Kind of like toasting your nuts.
Toasting your nuts.
After soaking them in pineapple juice.
There you go.
That's a callback to an old chat.
Says use citrus to brighten the flavor of your turkey. Yeah, we talked about that. Talked about putting some citrus underneath the skin. Also, when I brine my turkey, I brine it in fresh herbs, water, obviously, brown sugar, salt, and usually a couple of cut up and squoze lemons, fresh lemons. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Here's a cool one. Spread mayo under your turkey skin to get it crispy.
Why not?
I've never heard that one before, but that's pretty interesting, and I bet it would work really well.
Yeah, I've heard
the
butter,
mayo.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've used butter. The mayo won't brown as much, and it would just break down. It wouldn't brown as much as the butter, so I think you get more of a natural brown and crispness other than the butter. So yeah, that would be a cool one to try out. I would try that one out. Sure.
Yeah, I've actually heard of guys using mayo as a binder for their barbecue.
Oh yeah. Oh well.
Yep.
There's white barbecue sauce too. That's mayo based.
Racist.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead of doing, I'm not a fan of using binders. I like to season and then just let the meat sweat and adhere the binder itself. But if people get bent out of shape and want to have it stick immediately, so that mustard and all that. And one time I heard somebody say, "Try mayo." I'm like, okay.
Rely on temperature rather than color to know when your turkey is done. Yeah, I mean that's kind of a I don't want to call it a no-brainer, but I mean I think if you're just looking at if you're looking at your turkey to see if thinking it's done or not, I think you're either setting yourself up for a dry ass turkey or you're setting yourself up for salmonella, one or the other. That's tough. Confit the dark meat. That's a good tip. Confit is a technique that's used with duck a lot. It just means that it's cooked in fat, usually slow cooked. You can actually buy too. You can order it, but you could buy it at some supermarkets now. You can actually buy fat. You could buy like duck fat or something like that to use. But there's also a lot of natural fats that you could use to do this too. If you had like pork, like beef tallow or something like that. And normally what you do is marinate it, and usually you marinate something, and then you cover it in that fat, and a lot of times you'll roast it in the oven. And it just slowly cooks, keeps you're not boiling, not too hot that it's going to fry or get crispy, but it just keeps all that moisture in there. It's really pretty awesome. And then usually you cool it off in that fat too, and hold it in that fat. And then when you reheat it, the fat kind of melts off of it. So doing a confit would be pretty cool for sure. Deep fry individual portions of your turkey. They even breaded it like, like fried chicken. I think that's a cool idea. You guys know, if you've watched my Instagram or whatnot, or we talked about it, I'm a big fan of like turkey wings.
Yes.
I
did that recipe, as you know.
Yeah. And usually what I do is I'll just take the wings, break them up into the drumette and the flat, and just roast it in the oven until it's just barely done, and then cool it off. Throw it in the refrigerator, and then the next day just throw it straight in the deep fryer and fry them some bitches up.
Yeah, no breading, nothing. It's awesome.
Yeah, they are so. It is so good. It's actually, if you like wings, you'll love them. They have a lot more flavor than a chicken wing, and they're super meaty and big. It really is fun. And when I do my Thanksgiving turkey, because I debone it, I use all the bones for the stock, and I roast them. I just roast the wings right in with that, and then it's like just a snack for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, the time that I did that with the wings in the fryer, you've got 4 pieces, and the kids are like tearing in them like, there's only 4 pieces here.
Yeah. Step back. Get
away from me.
Yeah, turkey wings are incredible. And the best part is, like you were saying, they're so large. The drummy on a turkey wing is like a small chicken leg.
Oh, I mean, it's like I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a small chicken leg. I mean, if you get a turkey that's in the 18-pound range, like a larger turkey. Their wing drumette is bigger than a chicken thigh, so chicken leg. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Make sure your knife is super sharp. Yeah, okay, I can see that. That makes sense.
Oh man,
add some sweetness to your turkey with a jam glaze. I like that idea. Towards the end of cooking, probably I would. She's saying here 2 parts of jam to 2 parts of stock, which that's a weird way to say it. Wouldn't it be 1 to 1? Okay, so she says 2 to 2, which is weird, but 2, equal parts jam and stock, and then some fresh herbs. Brush it over your bird or your turkey. You could brush it over your bird or your turkey, and give it a so savory glaze. I would say I'd be a little worried about doing that at the very beginning if you're going to cook that bird for an hour or 2 or a couple hours. If you have to, if you got a big one, because it's going to get pretty dark on there because of all the sugar. I'd maybe start halfway through and give it a little baste with it or something like that. Says no more room in your fridge. Brine your turkey in a cooler. Yeah, that's a good tip.
Here's a pro tip for when you brine your turkey in a cooler. Is when you take it out, remember to wash that cooler out and not wait until next summer when you want to put beer and ice in it.
It's gross.
Dude, I threw this cooler away because we were ready to go out on the boat, and I opened it up and about freaking passed out.
Wait. What kind of savage puts ice in their beer?
Me?
A cooler full of ice and beer? Yeah, I just dumped the whole keg in there. What the hell?
So here's another pro tip. Instead of just putting a raw turkey in your cooler to brine it, Ziploc makes these giant bags that you can put a whole turkey in there and a couple gallons of brine, and then get as much air out of there as you can and seal it up, and then you can put it inside the cooler with bags of ice and whatnot, and it works great. And then you don't really have to worry about washing out your cooler.
It's too late now, some bitch.
Yeah. There you go.
I should really do a turkey video before Thanksgiving if I was smart.
SMRT.
Ice your turkey before it goes into the oven so it doesn't dry out. Okay.
Where's your turkey? He's on ice.
Are you always drying out your turkey? This year, try Chef Ryan Scott's tip. Throw an ice bag on your raw turkey for 15 minutes before it goes into the oven. All right. Okay. I don't know nothing about that. Make a do-it-yourself roasting rack with aluminum foil. Oh, this is Ryan Scott again. So he's dumping. He's got ice packs on his turkey and it says take a large piece of foil, crunch it into a long tube, and press it into a ring with about the diameter of 2 fists. Well, that's a weird way to say that, but it lets hot air circulate around the bird for faster and more even roast. Okay, yeah. So you basically get the bird up off the bottom, right? Go to the dollar store and buy a little rack. Jesus, you don't need to be making shit out of aluminum foil like you're fucking MacGyver or something. Go to the dollar store and get yourself a little roasting rack and put it in the bottom of your roasting pan. Cost you $1.50 or something.
And then fist that turkey, fist it good.
Yeah, right. Tips for sides and gravy. Use tapioca starch instead of flour to thicken your gravy. Why? Chef Brian. Oh, Brian Voltaggio. He was he was in Top Chef. He was one of the Top Chef guys. As a matter of fact, I think he might have been in the season that I applied for. He said uses tapioca starch, which gives the gravy a nice consistency, not too thick, not too thin, not gelatinous. Plus, it's gluten-free. Flour is tough. Okay, so we were just making a cheese sauce at the restaurant. We're trying out some recipes for the new place, and the cheese that I wanted to use was a sharp white cheddar. We're doing a cheese sauce, and we started with a flour and milk, a roux base with milk. And I just did not like the consistency that the flour gave the sauce. And we're actually going to use heavy cream instead. It's a little more expensive, but it's going to give you like a real velvety texture to the sauce. The sauce had like a floury kind of graininess to it when it was made with the roux. And I just didn't like it. I thought it ruined it. So, we're not going to, we're going to spend a little extra money and use a little bit of heavy cream. Tapioca starch. Some people will use cornstarch. Cornstarch is kind of weird. Cornstarch with hot sauces. Cornstarch gives a glassy appearance to stuff. If you've ever made pudding with cornstarch, you're basically thickening sweetened milk, and it's, that's what a pudding is. It's a custard, basically. Sometimes it's got, sometimes it's cream, sometimes it's milk, whatever. Sometimes it's got egg, sometimes it doesn't. There's things that are eggless, obviously. And, but what cornstarch will do is it'll give your product a shiny, glassy kind of look to it. Yeah, I use the word plasticky too, and sometimes that's okay, but with a hot sauce like a turkey gravy, it looks fake. It looks like it's out of, even if you make it from scratch. When you see that glassiness to it, it makes you automatically assume that it's something out of a can or something. Flour doesn't do that, and tapioca starch doesn't do that as much either. So. That's a good little trick. I don't work with tapioca starch much. I have, especially when I was doing a lot of Asian stuff. I played with it a little bit. I also played with tapioca pearls. I was doing some fun stuff with those. It says rice your Yukon Golds for the creamiest mashed potatoes. Yes. Chef Michael Chernow says, my favorite mashed potatoes, my favorite way to do mashed potatoes is with a ricer. If you don't know what a ricer is or a food mill is, it's got a screen in it and sort of a handle that you turn, and it's got an angled blade in it, kind of. And what it does is it smashes the food down through the grate, the grates, or the whatever. We can pull one up then. They're a little bit pricey. It's the same idea as like a garlic press, smashing the garlic through the holes, except on a larger scale. And what it does is the more you whip a potato, the more you mix a potato, the more you stir a potato, the more you agitate a potato in any way, the more starchy it'll become. And sometimes that's okay because you want it to have a little bit of texture. Some people when they make like gnocchi or something, they like to work it a little bit to get them to be a little firmer and kind of rubberier in a way. That's just what they like. Other people don't. They just fold it and they're real gentle because they want the gnocchi to be super tender. So by using a ricer or a food mill, you smash that through the grate or through the die, basically, and it never gets worked. So then we would do that on a large scale. I mean, I'd make mashed potatoes for 100 people like that because I like the texture. And then we would add like hot heavy cream, melted butter, whatever flavorings we're going to put in there, and stir it with a spatula and just sort of fold it in. And I'll tell you what, in a restaurant, if you're going to make the mashed potato and then serve it later or have to reheat it or something, you better do a good job of making it, or when you reheat it, it's going to show. It's going to show like it's starchy and tacky and pasty and weird. If you make them really carefully to begin with, and you can get away with that kind of stuff, making them ahead of time and then reheating them or whatever. So I know we've talked about that a little bit too. Store your gravy in a thermos to keep it hot. That's a good little trick. They make thermos. We actually have a thermos at the restaurant that we're using for coffee creamer at our coffee station. We'll keep that in the refrigerator, and then when we open up, you put half and half in there, and it'll stay cold for a couple hours. You can go the other way with the thermos too. And if you put hot water in the thermos and then pour it out, and then put a hot gravy in there, that gravy is going to stay hot for a long time, and it's not going to form a skin or evaporate any or get thick on you or whatever. And you can kind of give it a little swirl, and you'll be good to go. That's a good little tip, especially if you're the kind of family that has all day fucking food bonanza fiesta kind of craziness, where you've got food sitting out all day and people are coming and going. I know that was like that when I was a kid. We had family that would come into town to my grandparents' house, and there would be people in and out of there all day long from different families and people stopping in, and they just left the food out. People would grab stuff. So that's a good little trick. Make your cranberry sauce in the toaster. All right. Let's read this one. For a fun twist on cranberry sauce, Chef Andrew Carmelini says to brulee it in your toaster. Spoon sauce into a ramekin, add sugar, orange, and spices, and then warm it in the oven. Set your toaster oven to broil. Put all the wet ingredients in a microwave-safe dish and cook for 1.5 minutes on high. Place cranberries on the toaster oven baking tray. Pour liquid over top and shake. What the hell is this guy smoking?
How do you shake with a tray without it going everywhere?
Yeah, I don't know. Broil until cranberries pop and soak up liquid. 3 to 5 minutes. Stir and put aside in a serving bowl. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know. Chef Andrew Carmelini is he's doing some stuff there. I don't know what he's doing. We're going to skip that guy. Yeah. Use your butter wrappers to keep your mashed potatoes warm. What? What? Don't toss out the wrappers from all those sticks of butter you're using making Thanksgiving dinner. Instead, suggests Chef Michael White, place them buttery side down over your serving dish of mashed potatoes to keep a skin from forming over the spuds and to enhance their flavor. Remove the wrappers just before you take the potatoes to the table. Okay. All right.
I got a whole drawer full of old butter wrappers.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they've been used more than once.
Yeah, that's true. They're not butter anymore. They just wrappers. Make muffins out of your stuffing. I've actually I've done this.
Oh yeah.
Instead of using like one big tray or whatever, we did, and I've talked about this on the show. I think a couple years ago. I used to do this, and I did a stuffing years ago, where I took cupcake trays or muffin tins, whatever, and I would take a stuffing and fill it halfway up with the stuffing, and then I would take dried cherries, dried cranberries, and dried apples. I think I used to use that I had marinated in brandy. I put brandy in them and let them sit for a couple of days in brandy so they soaked it up. So I would take a little bit of stuffing and then put that it's called maceration. When you marinate something in alcohol, it's called macerated. I'd take that macerated dried fruit and put that in the middle and then put more stuffing on the top. And I called it a stuffed stuffing. And I served it with a grilled, marinated, I think I used to do a molasses grilled pork chop. Mm. So it was a stuffed stuffing with a grilled pork chop. And it worked out really cool. If you have a lot of people that you're trying to kind of mass produce a little bit for and do it faster, that works out really good because they bake really quick and they don't get too brown. That's a cool little trick. Okay, I can dig that.
And everybody gets that favorite part of the crispy edges.
If people like that, yeah. If your family likes crispy edges, for sure, that's a great way to go. Yeah.
I think I might do that.
Yeah.
I might have to go see if I got a box of stuffing.
Another one would be if you kind of want to sort of happy medium too, is to use smaller loaf pans like that you would use for zucchini bread or something, and use 2 or 3 of those and instead of one big pan or the muffin tins, you could always split the difference and do something like that. Jazz up your vegetables with a balsamic glaze, okay, like a balsamic roasted vegetable. I'm a big fan of balsamic and honey reductions. If you take balsamic in a low saute pan, or a pot or whatever, as long as it's got a flat bottom. You don't want something, if you got a pan that's kind of banged up or that doesn't sit flat, don't use that. But if you take straight balsamic, balsamic vinegar, reduce it down by, probably 75% or so. And then drizzle in a little bit of honey and swirl it around to taste. And balsamic and honey is an amazing dressing. It's a great drizzle for stuff. If you make caprese salads, or in this case, vegetables, it would be great to drizzle over top of the vegetables. Mm-hmm. Turn pan sauce into turkey gravy without using flour or starch. This is how you do it. Okay, it's saying this is how you do it. According to Bastianich, I forget what her first name is. Lydia. It's Lydia Bastianich. It's, if you ever watch
Lydia
her show,
the bearded lady.
No, it's oh shit! I just lost it when you said that. Lydia. Something I can't remember. Lydia. She's been around for a long time. It says, put the strained and reduced sauce in a pan over skillet over medium heat and whisk in fine dry breadcrumbs, about a teaspoon for each cup of sauce. It's kind of neat. It's like an Italian thing for sure, I would imagine. The Italians do. Go ahead.
So you're still making it with flour or starch, but just taking the extra step of having fine dry breadcrumbs.
Kinda, and it's sort of along the same lines as like bread soups, almost like a French onion or something. But in Italy, you see that kind of thing a lot, where they'll take a soup and it's like a brothy, it's a light brothy soup, and they'll literally just chunk up bread and throw it in there and just let it cook in there or something, and that's what kind of thickens it, and it obviously absorbs the soup, but then it breaks down. So that's kind of along the same lines. I would imagine that would be probably pretty good. I would definitely give it more flavor than just flour. If you're using a toasted breadcrumb or something, that'd be kind of cool. I could see that. Potatoes can double as a roasting rack for your turkey. Bum, 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 bum. That's Alex Garnishelli. She's another Food Network.
She says beyond reproach way too much.
Yeah.
Well, I just think she's beyond reproach for saying that.
She can be a little much sometimes, but
we make fun of her every time we watch it at the house.
Yeah. She says, skip the roasting rack and use a layer of potatoes. That's a good idea. I could see that. Just chunk up a bunch of potatoes, put them in the bottom of the roasting pan, and throw the turkey right on top of it. I could dig that. I could see that being delicious. And they get all smashed and delicious on the bottom. That'd be good. I could dig that. Pack your mise en place in advance. We've talked about mise en place. This is Tom Colicchio from not Top Chef, but what's that? Oh, shit. What's it? I'm blanking out. Cut down on last minute work. Suggest creating a make ahead mise en place by a bunch of pint containers and pre-measure all your ingredients we need to make the meal. Yeah, it's a restaurant thing, right? We talked about that kind of stuff. Like, you gonna do all your stuff ahead of time, or are you gonna, measure out all your stuff and maybe pre-cut your carrots, dice your onion ahead of time? Do that stuff on like Tuesday, and then when Thursday rolls around for Thanksgiving, you got all your stuff ready to go. You just start slamming stuff together and cooking. It takes a lot of the pressure off you. It's a good idea. Nuts are a great vegetarian alternative for bacon.
Burn the wedge. Burn the wedge.
We're just going to keep scrolling for that kind of nonsense. Here's where to store your desserts you made in advance. In my face. You can store your desserts in my face.
That's what she said.
I don't know. Fruit pies keep room. Apple and other fruit pies will keep at room temperature overnight. Yeah. Okay, we know that. People know that, I think. Yep. Cookies and brownies can stay in an airtight container. No shit. There you go. That's a good tip. Thanks. Lighten up whipped cream by using coconut milk. We'll just scroll right past that. Who needs to lighten up heavy cream? That's why you buy heavy cream.
No. Look, if you want to lighten it up, go get yourself one of those nitro pellets from a can of Guinness and throw in it.
There you go.
Or just use the Guinness.
Get some whippets.
What the hell is this?
Whip it
Use
good.
childhood photos on your
It's
table.
dessert and decor.
What the hell? That has nothing to do with food. Get out of here. That's crazy. Flowers. Have extra cranberry sauce. Make cranberry parfaits. There you go. Okay.
Or just mix it in with the big bowl of sadness you're going to have tomorrow for breakfast.
Use dental floss to cut perfect slices of cake. Who needs a perfect slice of cake, man? You just start shoveling that out. Who cares?
No, better thing is, remember to take the cake out of the freezer a day beforehand so the knife can actually cut it.
Mm-hmm. Pumpkin rolls. Do you guys have pumpkin rolls where you live?
Yeah, they're disgusting.
What?
I don't like cream cheese.
Oh my god, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm thinking that if you were to like pan fry one of those and kind of crisp them up like you would almost do with French toast, it probably would be edible.
If we could have like icing or something in the pumpkin roll, I'd probably be game, but I'm not a cream cheese guy. I think I've spoke this blasphemy on here before.
I don't know why the fuck I send you a link. Why settle for one kind of pie when you can have two pies in one? Chef Ed Brown suggests filling a pie halfway with pumpkin pie mixture, bake cool, then the rest of the way with pecan pie, and bake again.
It's a surefire way that you're going to piss off everybody.
I don't know about the pecan pie pumpkin pie combo, but I am a big fan of cheesecake combos where you bake like a cheesecake and then you put, a layer of pumpkin pie on top or the pecan pie on top or something like that. That can be pretty damn awesome. Have leftover wine, make Thanksgiving sangria.
Leftover wine.
Not a problem. I don't think for
leftover wine.
pretty many families.
We should do a recipe and do Thanksgiving sangria with leftover wine and put like turkey and mashed potatoes in it and shit and see if we can get it published.
Put it in the Fastmatic.
Yeah. Use a cooling rack to easily make lattice strips for your pie. Yeah.
No. It's either a full crust or it's an open face. None of this lattice is bullshit.
Yeah, so that's that. There's some good tips in there, I think. That's pretty cool.
Mostly good.
And filler. which is mostly what
it was only mostly dead.
It was only mostly filler, mostly like most Thanksgiving meals. It's mostly filler.
Yeah. So, what?
So that's how I put my turkey in the fridge. You know, set it and let it chill.
Set it and forget it
with a cigarette and a trout
Oh,
head.
yeah.
Now, when you say you let it chill, is that a Cool's menthol in its mouth?
It. Oh yeah.
I thought those were illegal now.
Only in 50 states.
Not Puerto Rico.
Not Mexico.
Do you,
I gotta go pull a turkey out of my freezer now.
Do you guys do you guys do anything out of the ordinary for Thanksgiving? Anything different, like that's kind of not weird, but maybe like a family tradition that nobody else does, or something different?
Oh, yeah.
And odd?
I make
I'm next.
cream corn and collard greens.
Oh, gee whiz! Holy smokes!
All in the
No, you
blender.
know, sir. In Texas, we rule with the cream corn.
Creamed corn.
We rule with the cream corn.
Texas said cream corn's most popular here, and barbecue said, "Hold my beer. Let me show you something here." Cream corn and collard greens, you just mix it up and it looks the same coming out as it did going in, and you know you're good to go.
We'll always do like I mean, I don't think it's weird, but for appetizer stuff, we usually make up some like coconut shrimp and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for my family, we get tamales. We have tamales as part of the Thanksgiving meal and stuff like that.
Now, wow, when you said that, I just thought of something super fun, man. What if you took a stuffing, right? Like a bread stuffing, raw, like uncooked, and made freaking tamales out of that with like turkey and cranberry inside.
Oh man, that would be cool.
That would be neat, man.
Yeah,
be super
because pretty
fun.
much tamales you can pretty much tamales you can do anything, because it's not just pork. You know, you can do chicken. There's like jalapeno and cheese. There's bean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's all kinds of
variations
that you can. You know, as long as you know what you want and stuff like that, you can do it.
Yeah,
I think that would work.
that'd be super fun to play with. That'd be kind of neat. Like if you did, like you could even do it in plastic wrap or something. If you didn't have the corn husks, you know, if you did plastic wrap down, put some stuffing down raw, and then cook turkey inside. You could just put cooked turkey and cranberry sauce inside, wrap it all up and steam it, and then just serve it with gravy or something. Man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun. Super fun. I don't know. Anything else? Anything else you guys do that's kind of out there? Or is it pretty traditional?
Question, I mean, you guys do your cranberry sauce. How do you do the cranberry sauce?
I open it up with a can opener.
The turd.
I'll tell you what. I know this is weird too. I'm the same way. I'm a big fan of Ocean Spray cranberry, jellied cranberry or whatever, where you just, you know, you slice it and you go. I've always loved it. Here's something fun for you to try. If you take dried cranberries, and this is really neat for, you know, if you want a cranberry sauce on the side, it's really, really easy. And you can flavor it other ways. Like you can flavor it however you want, but as a base, if you just take dried cranberries, like 1 part dried cranberries, like if you take a cup, you take like 1 cup of dried cranberries and then 3 cups of ginger ale and just put it on a low flame for like 45 minutes or whatever. It'll turn into this like really kind of gooey, almost like a cranberry jam, almost like a cranberry marmalade almost. And then, I mean, you can flavor it any way you want. I mean, if you want to put some orange in there, if you want to put some kind of spices in there or whatever, but just as a base. And I used to do extra fresh ginger in it, and I called it a ginger ale marmalade, cranberry marmalade or whatever. It's really, really tasty. If you want to try something different this year, Go buy like a one of those 8-ounce containers of dried cranberry and just throw a couple of cans of, ginger ale in it and put it on a low heat and just watch what happens. It's really cool. It's really neat.
So I got a
It
new
turns
video
out-
coming out
Yeah,
for
go ahead.
cranberry sauce. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ocean Spray cranberry and pour it out like you normally do. We put it on the smoker, inject it with some beef tallow. It should go viral.
There you go.
So basically, you're going to be making a cranberry rocket.
Yeah, my one aunt since I was a kid, she's made cranberry sauce using one of the Tupperware Jello molds.
Mhm.
Tupperware.
It's
You
one
laugh,
of
that's
the
what's
old
good.
ones though, because it's like from the 70s. It's much
Yeah.
smaller
I got
than
you.
we have now that we sell.
Yeah, I don't know. I like cranberry sauce. I'm not a huge fan of. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan of it. I don't think I appreciate homemade cranberry sauces as much as I should, because I just like
'Cause
that
it sucks.
sweet. Just a lot of them do. A lot of them are really tart, and some people like that. And then a lot of them aren't cooked enough, and the cranberries are left very firm. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I like them really nice and tender. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just the white trash in me. I just like that jellied shit, man.
You prefer your cranberries to be flaccid than hard.
Yeah. And I like to, get them out of the can, and then you have a log with the ridges on it, and you just give that shit a slice, and you go to town, man.
Well, you got the measurements right on it where you cut it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the cut lines right there. You just, you're good to go. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my ex tried to make homemade cranberry sauce the one year. She's like, "Oh, we don't need to get cranberry sauce. I'm making it." I'm like, what if it goes wrong? It won't go wrong. I'm like, can we just get it just in case? What if people don't? She's like, no, I'm making it at home. Okay, and like, you couldn't even say it was a paste. It was just so thin.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, the kitchen's on fire, your dog's missing, your daughter's knocked up.
I've seen it 100
Other
times.
times.
Yeah, it's I've had people do that I've seen people do that in restaurants where they they do a Thanksgiving thing and they do like a special, or they try and do something fun, and they're just like, oh, I'll just go get fresh cranberries and I'll make cranberry sauce out of them and it'll be awesome. And a lot of times the cranberries are really wicked, man. They can be really wicked if they're not super, super ripe. It's not like a blueberry where you can just dump it in a pot, throw a little sugar in there, and kind of put it on low, and next thing you know, you got blueberry sauce or something for a cheesecake. You got to baby them a little bit, and you got to work a little magic with the tartness. And if not, they can be really dry, almost like a dry red wine or something. When you drink a red wine and the tannins kind of bite you in the back of the jaw there. You can get some cranberry sauce and it looks great, and you take a bite of it and you're like, ooh, you'd be pretty wicked. And I've had some cooks do that, and you taste it and you're like, holy shit, you need some help here, buddy. Let's figure this out. Yeah.
Just pour more brandy in it, it'll be fine. Yeah,
more booze, more sugar, a little citrus. That's why orange goes really well, because citrus cuts the tartness a little bit. And especially if you're using like a fresh OJ and zest, you want to keep the pith out of it, the white part. You just want to use the zest. The zest and the fresh OJ really cuts that tannic kind of bite that they have, and that's why you see that a lot. You see the orange with them a lot. But yeah, if you've ever just eaten like fresh raw cranberries, thinking like, oh, I bet these are good, they can be pretty brutal sometimes.
I actually like to use citrus to stuff my turkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, citrus is great. I brine my turkey with lemon, and then in the past, before I was brining with lemon, I would put really thin slices of lemon under the skin, and it would help lift the skin up and get the skin crispy. But you'd also get that lemon that would kind of melt down into the breast meat. It's good.
Yep. Yeah, I never like to stuff the turkey with stuffing. Just I'm always afraid that the stuffing is going to turn out really bad because smoking the turkey. So I just go with citrus and onions normally, but do not eat the citrus after you smoke the turkey. It's awful.
Yeah.
The onions though are absolutely incredible because they take on a lot of that citrus flavor, and the consistency of them by the time they're all done, or by the time the turkey's done, is incredible.
Yeah.
We're doing a whole pork loin and 2 whole chickens.
Oh, cool.
Thanksgiving this year.
Nice.
So do you like bacon wrap the loin or anything, or are you just doing it? Or are you doing it straight up?
We're gonna do it. So Giada De Laurentiis has a recipe where you throw it in the oven at like 425 and rotate it every, I think it's 15 minutes. And you just have like some seasoning and some rosemary on it. And, do it till it's about 140. And it has a nice crust on it. And it's like, barely pink in the middle.
Yeah.
It's really good. And it's fast, But I have done a basket weave pork loin before in the smoker. But we're going to the in-laws, so I won't have all my equipment.
Yeah. All your gadgets and gizmos.
Yeah.
Jixer's out there. He says, we talking deep fried turkey, lard, or get the fuck out? Brine for 36 hours, sugar and salt, air dry for 24, then fry in pig fat.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Sounds like you got it figured out, brother.
Those are good.
I like brown sugar in my brine. I'll do brown sugar and water, kosher salt, fresh herbs, and the citrus, and a little and some chopped garlic. But I like the brown sugar.
Is there some shortage on kosher salt right now? Because I could not find it the last time I was at the store.
Not that I know of, but I think every store is having trouble with different stuff.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that with my purveyors. Is one purveyor, the purveyor that I was going to get croissants from for a sandwich, hasn't been able to get croissants for weeks. My other purveyor has 4 different kinds or 5 different kinds. It just depends on who they're buying from and how many they have an invoice in stock. The one purveyor is having trouble finding dinner rolls, which we're not using dinner rolls, so I don't give a shit. But I'm a little worried that they're gonna they have some baguettes, into like small baguettes that I'm using. I'm a little worried about those going out of stock, but she's like, I can't. We have like almost no dinner rolls, and the other company I work with they'd be like, I've got dinner rolls like crazy. I don't know what the hell their problem is.
Yeah, so we got all the rolls up here in Michigan, and
yeah, there you go.
Where was that? Nebraska has all the croissants.
Yeah.
According to that map, anyway.
And then it can go. It goes the other way, where the other company is out of stock on this, whatever it is, and the other one has them. It's just, it's tough. It's just, you just have to be very ready to change your things. I was going to run a whole wheat croissant, and I'm not going to be able to. I changed the menu and just put a traditional one, but I'm apprehensive because it's I'm just waiting for it to a month after we're opening to not be able to get a hold of something and have to change menus and do that kind of stuff. But you do what we got to do. People are much more understanding now than a year and a half ago or whatever, when this all started getting crazy. When it first started getting gnarly, we had a lot of people were not very forgiving. They were they get pissed off that you didn't have something, or the price of something would go through the roof, and we would stop carrying it because we got to make money. You know what I mean? I think a business has every right to change what they're serving if they have to. I mean, if I can't sell you a sandwich and only make $1 off of it, we can't pay the bills like that. So, we made some changes, and some people came in and they were pissed off and they walked away, and you're just like, meh, I mean, nothing I could do. You just got to do what you got to do. Sorry, we couldn't get something. What do you want me to do?
Fuck 'em.
Yeah. So
Right in the ear.
Right in the ear hole.
Gotta adapt and overcome, man.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. And people are very understanding now. We've had so many people just walk into the restaurant. And even when I was just, even weeks ago or a month ago, if I was down there doing something and somebody walked, I would leave the door open. And it was summertime. It was nice. I would prop the door open. And if people would walk in, it gave me a chance to talk to people. They would walk in and say, "Oh, we thought you guys were open." We're like, "No, not yet." And it gave me a chance to spark up a conversation and talk to them about the place. But, I've been letting people know for quite a while, like, yeah, well, this is what we're planning. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, we're going to, shift gears a little bit and we might do this. And we had the same conversation with staffing. If we don't have enough servers, we're going to maybe do one dining room served and one dining room is like food runners or something. And people were very understanding. They're like, hey, no, we're just, hopefully you'll be okay. If not, do what you got to do. It's very different than it was when COVID hit and nobody was used to it yet, because you get a bunch of cranky ass people. So Alec Baldwin released it says expletive laced meltdown over crew rumors that the set was unsafe. He's basically saying that the set was not unsafe. There was nothing in the set that would be considered not legit or not safe. I say bullshit to that just because of what we know actually happened so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing unsafe about a negligent discharge. I mean, come on.
Well, I can 100% see. Well, he's even going as far as to say that some of the things that Gutierrez lawyer had said, like that statement about them wanting safety meetings and not being able to get them. He's saying that's bullshit, basically. So it's kind of he said, she said at this point. So we'll kind of see what comes out. But for him to come out and say that the set was not unsafe, I beg to differ, because I think I made myself, I think, pretty clear last week when we were talking about it, that if it's true that they were taking firearms used in the film and actually shooting them off set, off the clock, as for fun, I think that is innately unsafe. I don't think that's okay. I don't think something like that should happen. I think those guns they're used in the film should only be used in the film. I don't think they should be running around with them all over the place and shooting real live ammo out of them. I think that's a bad idea. It would be fun as hell. I could see why they'd want to do it, but I don't think it's a good idea.
I think we all know the truth here, and it's that Alec Baldwin is just trying to cover his own ass because he knows there never was a safety meeting on that set at all.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, for sure. I'm sure he's, and I feel bad for the dude, man. Like, he killed somebody. Like, I can't imagine being in that spot. And I don't blame him as an actor so much for being handed a gun that he was told was safe, and he pulled the trigger in a rehearsal and it wasn't safe. Like, I can let that slide. I understand how that could happen, but to come out and say that that it wasn't unsafe when those things were happening, nah. And yeah, he's a producer on there. He's he's not only did he kill somebody and wound somebody, but his ass is on the line now legally. We'll see what happens. It's a tough one.
I don't know. I don't think I could just let him slide because somebody handed him a gun and said it was safe. He still has liability to check and verify it himself.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, and I know a lot of people say that, and I can understand it 100% too. My thing is, I think that there should be, there ought to be, and there should be systems in place that can. I know you can't guarantee, that's a tough word to use, that can guarantee that gun, when it gets handed to somebody to be used in a scene, is safe. I think that there should be the person that ultimately hands that to the actor or actress needs to be somebody that can verify at that time that gun is safe, clear, and has the correct ammunition in it, whether it's a blank or whatever, like whatever you want to put in it. I also don't think that I really don't think that a gun should be able to fire live ammunition, real ammunition. I think that a prop gun should be a prop gun. I think a prop gun should only be able to fire, blanks in some way. And I know that's happens. I know there's companies that all they do is rent prop guns, unfireable guns. I think that should be the norm. I don't, it's just, I think that, and a lot of people are pushing for, we were talking about this before the show. I think Moo, you said The Rock was pushing for no guns in films, right?
Yeah, he said none of his next movies will have guns in them.
Yeah. So that's what we're up against, right? Like, I would rather see a push for guns to be non-functioning, and blank only guns, than to have a huge push for no guns in films, because we already have an issue in our society with the whitewashing of firearms, right? They want to get firearms, out of, you don't want to teach about firearms. You don't want your kids to know about firearms. People don't want them to see firearms in kids shows or cartoons or, kids movies or anything like that. We already have a push for that. This is just going to push it faster. So I would rather the lesser of two evils. And I think the lesser of those evils is obviously that we have guns that are as safe as possible used in films, so that we can still see them in films or have them in films.
Yeah, I've seen TV shows from here in the United States and also from like Canada or Britain and stuff, Europe, and they use some guns that don't, if you really watch them, their slide does not move. You see that they pull the trigger and that there's some kind of spark, or like if there was actual bullet coming out, so you see like a blank type thing would come out, but the slide doesn't move. And then there's some that I've seen that I think I saw that they were using P90s one time, and it looked like they were like butane flame was coming out. It was like shooting in full auto. It was like, oh, and I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting, because like it's a prop gun, and it's for more safety. You can use that, and as like I said, if they want to, they can always use CGI, and it's been done many times.
Yeah. And I know somebody had said before that, I don't know if it was it Moo, was it you, we were talking, and he'd said, like, people are saying how so few people have been injured by guns that it's insignificant, really. And it's true. I mean, more people get hurt or killed driving to the set every year than get injured by firearms on the set every year. I'm sure it's 100 times more.
I could say that a lot of people get hurt during doing stunt work, like either using a vehicle, jumping off a building, to another building and stuff.
Right.
Even though it's a stunt person, right? But sometimes, even though it's a stunt person, that person could still have accidents. They could still die and stuff. They can be flying a helicopter and they're supposed to do some aerial effect and they slam into a mountain. It still happens and stuff. So the significance of, a person got killed by accidentally shooting somebody, that hasn't really happened a lot. I mean, they refer, like every time they talk about this subject, they refer back to what happened on The Crow, stuff, and maybe a little bit further back. And from that time, you have not had that many incidents dealing with the live firearm, and stuff. It's always an accident. Oh, broken leg. Oh, Tom Cruise broke his foot he was doing his stunt for the new Mission Impossible movie or something like that. You always hear that stuff. It's not like every freaking year or month you hear, oh, there goes another guy, another actor or stunt person got shot by a live round by a prop gun. You don't hear that very much. So them saying that it's becoming more, happening more and stuff is insignificant. Like I said, you can get hurt on the way to work, doing a movie, so.
So all this,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, there's a quick silence, not to like jump off topic or anything. I just pulled that turkey out of my freezer from last year, and honestly, turkeys aren't too terribly priced right now. I just saw them at Walmart a couple weeks ago. They're like $1.48 a pound. I just looked at this one; it's $1.69 a pound. I mean, granted, it was gotten when you could do like that, buy $50 or whatever the heck stuff, and then you get the turkey for like 50 cents a pound. But nonetheless, turkeys are actually cheaper right now than they were last year.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
This dude, truck driver who was denied a carry permit, defeats New Jersey's powerful Senate president. This was one of those crazy. There was a bunch of Republican wins in these primaries or whatever, and this shit was like the craziest one. Soon to be former New Jersey Senate President Stephen Sweeney really doesn't look happy. He was beaten by Edward Durr. So this guy spent a couple $100, I think, and actually won a seat in New Jersey Senate. This guy,
I think they said $150.
It was 153 in the primary and about $6,000 overall.
Yeah. I think so. I think it might even say in here it says Durr raised more than $10,000 during their campaign, but spent only $153, $66.64 at Dunkin' to buy food and drinks for staff, and $86 for paper, flyers, and business cards. That's
great.
Amazing. It's amazing.
That's the guy that they need to take care of their state budget.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Edward Durr. This is New Jersey's truck driver who is beating New Jersey Senate president after spending only $153. It is kind of crazy. I don't know much about the guy other than that. I think he just said, well, fuck it. You know what? I'll run. Ended up winning. It's crazy.
Yeah, from my understanding, I looked into it a little bit, and he went to the sheriff's office. They're like, oh, don't even bother because I'm not going to give you a carry permit. And then he's like, no, I'm just going to run for office then. Forget this shit. And then eventually was like, yeah, I'm running because I'm sick and tired of this here.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's see what happens. Good luck, man. Have you guys been watching the Rittenhouse stuff at all?
Yes, I have.
I've caught quite a bit of it. Half at least, I would say, probably about half. Which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I mean, they're talking about 8 hours a day through a couple of days. Or whatever. Says the new Rittenhouse shooting footage shows Kyle chased, shot at before firing at Joseph Rosenbaum. So this guy was the dude that got plugged in the head, chased him down, and tried to grab the rifle. So he was also on some meds. He was just in a hospital. He'd just gotten out of the hospital, wasn't allowed to be with his girlfriend because of a court order. So he wasn't allowed to stay at her house. So there's a lot going on for sure. If you've watched it, and Tupperware, you said you've watched it. What are your thoughts so far on the case, like on the trial?
So the first couple of days when I was watching it, I realized it almost seemed like the defense was trying to throw Kyle under the bus, like they didn't know what they were doing. And then the other, like I think it was like Wednesday, Thursday, they finally figured out what they were doing and started. Actually, yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they figured out what they were doing, and then it became a whole thing at that point. And so you basically had every single person that's been called right now is all for the prosecution. And so what you have is, when I was watching Friday, they were actually calling Huber's great aunt to testify as basically a character witness.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this is actually something I didn't know until now, which is I always thought he was a domestic abuser for beating on his girlfriend or wife or whatever. It was actually his younger siblings. So if they were going to have her be a character witness, it could be a whole thing of opening up that line of questioning then at some point.
Yeah, there was that. There was the medication for Rosenbaum. They didn't want the type of medication or what he was in the hospital for or what hospital he was at. They didn't want that brought into it. And they, the prosecution brought up that he was in the hospital and couldn't stay with his girlfriend. Well, then the defense just kind of ran with all that. And they're like, this is what he was on. This is the meds he was on, the antipsychotic med. He wasn't allowed to be with his girlfriend because, of a restraining order kind of thing or whatever. It really showed him. It really hurt him a lot. They definitely shouldn't have opened up that can of worms.
I believe she was like the second or third witness on the stand too.
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe she was like a second or third witness on the stand there, and it was basically them trying to be like, "Oh, why wasn't he at your house?" And she's like, "Yeah, because it was a nut job. He should have never been out of prison, honestly." Yeah, I mean, he was a giant child molester.
Well, they also one of the witnesses that I saw most recently is the guy that actually his dad was not an EMT. His dad was, I forget what his dad was. He was the one that actually helped Rosenbaum. He was like the first there. Started tending to him, and they took him to the hospital or whatnot. He took his shirt off to apply pressure to Rosenbaum's wound, and he was like right in front of it when it all happened. So
yeah, that was Richie McGinnis, the dude who was the Daily Caller guy.
Is that who? Okay, is that who it was? Okay, I'm not great with the names.
There was also some medic dude who was, I guess, a Marine vet.
Yes, I
saw him. Who was talking about yanking or clearing the Gage Grosskurt's Glock that he had.
Yep.
And it was alive around in the chamber, and they're like,
Yeah, he dropped the mag and just racked the round out. He was there. That dude that was a Marine was there with an AR too. He was with Kyle for a little while. I thought it was interesting. I would say the only thing that the prosecution probably liked about that, and I was listening pretty closely to his testimony because it was interesting because he was he's a Marine. He was in the military. So, one, he didn't load his mags to 30 rounds. He downloaded his mags to 28 rounds, which I thought was interesting because you hear military guys do that. You hear like Ghost talks about that and stuff, how they never loaded all the way to 30 because of it promotes, I guess, misfeeds. They feed more reliably downloaded a little bit, but the only thing.
Yeah, but also,
said,
if I may interrupt for a sec here.
Go ahead.
The reason also that sometimes when you load 30 rounds, especially on a PMag, once you have it, you load all 30 rounds, right? You put the mag inside the mag well and stuff, you snap it, and then all of a sudden, boom, the mag falls out.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
somehow
sure.
Somehow that 30th round, you have to seat it in real good. Now, if you have
something about the tension
29 or 28, it'll go in. But that's because the bolt is forward. If the bolt's open, you may not have any problems. So, so sometimes people do that. It's always been like spring wear, or like you said, feeding problems and stuff like that, because you don't want to put too much tension on the wire. It depends.
Revolver.
It's preference for the gun owner.
Revolver
to load
says
mags.
he makes the magazine sit better, so that's what you're talking about too.
Yeah, it sits better sometimes, especially when the bolt is forward.
Yeah. The only thing that he said, that the Marine said, that I thought helped the prosecution, which it really shouldn't, but I think it could in their mind, is that he kept asking the guy, he's like, were you intimidated by Rosenbaum? Did he frighten you? Or were you scared? You thought he was a danger? And the Marine kept saying, no, I thought he thought he was a joke. You know what I mean? He just was false stepping and acting like a tough guy, and acting tough and acting like a big shot and all that kind of stuff. And the Marine was like, eventually I just turned my back to him. I think that actually helps the prosecution. But the one thing that I'm surprised the defense didn't really bring up was the fact that you're a Marine. You're trained, and you've been, you were trained to handle people, to handle things. The average person with somebody like that in front of them would be threatened, would be afraid. They would think that this guy is a threat. And that's the only thing as I was listening to it, that I think that the defense really should have brought up, like, even if they'd have said to the guy, the Marine, say, okay, you're a trained Marine. Do you think, in your opinion, the average person would have been intimidated or threatened by Rosenbaum? And let that guy say, yes, I think they would have been. I think that was kind of a missed opportunity for them.
Yeah, I would have equate this to basically having a 20-year veteran cop on the stand and being like, oh, you've had 20,000 interactions with people, versus a kid that had maybe one in his entire life.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and a cop would look at somebody like this and be like, this guy's a joke. He's not going to do anything. But to us, to like the average person that might have been there, I'd have been like, this guy's an asshole. This guy could, this guy's making me nervous. So,
I mean, I've looked over the footage multiple times in the past year, and I'm just like, if I had been there that night, I would have fucking shot the guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing with it is, this Marine was saying, like, no, I just blew him off and I knew he was a joke and I turned my back on him. I would never in a million years have turned my back on that guy with the way he was acting. And I think that's a huge difference between the average person and somebody that's trained military or something. But that, for some, that, I think that little thing there is, the prosecution kept pounding on it and saying, like, oh, you didn't think he was a threat? Well, that doesn't mean everybody else on the planet wouldn't have thought he was a threat, But this article is about the FBI. It said new footage of events that led to a shooting involving Kyle Rittenhouse reveals the Illinois youth was charged by several leftist demonstrators, with one man involved in arson activities, firing a weapon at Rittenhouse just before Rittenhouse was attacked by Joseph Rosenbaum. So this is huge. This is a big thing. And it's basically saying that they have proof that somebody was squeezing off rounds towards or at or around Rittenhouse when he was trying to get away from this guy. And man, that's a big deal. And I do believe this is I think the footage they're talking about is the footage that the FBI had for a long time and never really came forth with it, which is pretty shady in my opinion.
Yeah, they never handed it to the defense at all.
Right. The footage containing both aerial thermal imagery of and video of the streets of Kenosha, where the first shooting occurred, shows Rittenhouse running through a crowd and asking if anyone needed medical assistance. Rosenbaum, a convicted sex offender who had been released from a psychiatric facility earlier in the day, can be seen hiding among vehicles at a car dealership before beginning to chase Rittenhouse. Another rioter, since charged with arson, Joshua Zeminski, fires a supposed warning shot at Rittenhouse's general vicinity, with Rittenhouse turning around, facing a charging Rosenbaum, and shooting him when he tried to wrest control of Rittenhouse's rifle. It's man, I mean, my whole thing with this, after this happened, and like a week later or something like that, and everybody starts forming opinions right away, but I try not to when I see what happened, and it's all come out now how he got the gun. He paid for the gun, but his buddy bought it. His buddy Dominic Black, I believe it is, said, "No, I'm going to keep the gun. We can go shoot it together, whatever, but you can't have it." And then Kenosha happens, and basically, he let him have the gun, and they go to Kenosha. I think that Rittenhouse will. I think he's probably should get some sort of fire, ought to get some sort of firearms charge. But I don't know that self-defense is. I think he's going to be okay with self-defense. I've thought that from the, pretty far back, and everything that's happening in the case so far is kind of making me feel like I'm my instincts are right on that. I don't know if that Dominic Black kid is going to get in trouble. I know that people are saying he has immunity. I don't think he has. He does not have, as far as I know, any kind of written immunity. I know they asked him on the stand, had he been given any kind of deal? He said no. And they asked him, does he hope that if he tells the truth, will they be lenient with him? And he said, yes, I'm hoping that. I don't know if those are exact words, but that's basically what happened. He said, basically, if he goes along with things and tells the truth and doesn't, hide anything, that they will take leniency with him. That's not the same as having immunity. I don't know if the immunity thing if you guys have heard that or not.
Yeah, I think there's a gentleman's agreement between the prosecutor and his attorney, probably saying, hey, your guy goes on the stand, does what we need him to do, and we get the outcome that we want, and we'll talk after the case. But
right.
If things don't go the way we want here, we still got to, nail somebody, so then your guy's ass is grass.
Yeah, I think so too. I think people going around saying that the kid has immunity, I don't think that's not genuine. I don't think. I think they're probably what you said, and that's probably what I think is happening. Is they're probably saying like, "Hey, get up there, tell the truth, and we'll do what we can for you." Whatever that means. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's more interpretive if he's trying to cut a deal at this point, because right now he would be looking at potentially 12 years for Kyle's use of the weapon in those two self-defenses.
Yeah, and I don't know if they would be able to get him for a straw purchase or not.
He basically admitted to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but okay. So for something to be a straw purchase, and I'm not watching the chat. If anything pops up, I do have the chat popped up here. Hold on a second, just in case anybody says anything. I think with a straw purchase, you have to be buying that weapon with the intention of giving it to somebody that is not allowed to have it. I think it has to be like basically it has to be a premeditated thing. And now that's not to say that they can't bend the law and the wording and fit whatever they want it to. That I understand that can happen, but it doesn't sound like if everything's truthful, that when he bought that gun, bought him that gun, it wasn't to give it to him. It was to let him buy it and keep it and then give it to him when he turned 18. That's not a straw purchase. So Now, whether he can get busted for a straw purchase, I don't think so. I don't think he'll get that. But if there's a law that says he can't give that weapon to a minor for some reason, then he's going to get hammered for that because he obviously gave it to him. Now, whether he gave it to him to keep forever or he gave it to him for the day, I don't know at this point. Like, I don't think we're going to know, and I don't think he's obviously that dominant kid isn't going to say that he gave it to him to keep. He was just going to say that, I gave it to him for the day, not to keep. So it's not a straw purchase. But
Well,
just giving him the gun, is that enough to get him into big trouble?
did he actually even say that he gave it to him? Because I remember hearing him say that Rittenhouse had gone downstairs, got in the safe, and returned back upstairs with it.
Right, but here's the thing: they are and you're right, and that's Now we're talking like fine lines and semantics here, because they also asked Dominic. They said, okay, so when he showed up and got in the car with the gun, you didn't say anything about it. So now they're talking like, is that, whatever. Roll call is saying if you give people money for a gun, regardless, it's considered a straw purchase. I don't think so. I don't think so, because like if I would give my wife money to buy me a gun,
Your wife's different.
Well, or a friend or whatever. Let's say it's not. Let's say it's not a. If in Pennsylvania,
I got a good one. I got a good one.
Hold on one
Say
second.
you get Night Strike to buy you some strip lowers or a AR,
right?
From PSA, because he can drive over there. You being in Pennsylvania, I was like, dude, I'm not going to be able to go there pretty soon. I said, well, I can get you something from PSA, and then when you pass by, you pick it up. It's
But that
similar.
there is a straw purchase, because in that situation, Midnight needs to do the paperwork.
Well, that's my situation. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Pennsylvania, you have to do paperwork for a pistol. You can sell long guns. You can sell long guns personally.
Privately, yes.
Privately.
But
I don't know if you can do that up there, though.
Well, and the thing is, because even still, say we're here in PA, so you're like, hey, John, here's money. Can you pick this up for me? I'm like, yeah. And I fill out the 4473 and say that I'm the actual buyer/transferee. I just committed a straw purchase. Mm-hmm. Now, I could go and pick that up for myself. Be like, you know what? I don't really like this. But hey, Midnight, you like this? You'd be like, yeah, I like that. I'll send you some money and then just hold on to it for me. Well, now I bought it for myself, and then I decided later on I don't like it. And I mean, this is how goofy the law is, but that's the difference between a straw purchase and a private sale.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand what Roe's saying, and maybe he's right. I'd always heard it that it was with the intention of giving it to somebody that was unable to buy it themselves or legally buy it themselves. I might be wrong. You know what I mean?
Well,
and he's saying
you basically just said it right there, though, because you said can't buy it themselves. Kyle was not legally of age to buy it himself at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's a weird. I mean, I'm sure
it's a weird situation, man. I mean, and also every state has its own laws, so it complicates things,
Yeah, I get it, and I understand where it's kind of along the same lines as having a FFL, right? So, like, if you can buy and sell guns privately or whatever, but if you're buying them with the intention of reselling them for profit, you're supposed to have an FFL. But at what point, you know what I mean? The 4473 specifically asks if you are buying for yourself. Right. Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Okay, here's another one. You buy for yourself, and say, "Oh, I need money. I kind of spent too much money this month, so I may need to sell one of my rifles and stuff." So you end up doing a private sale.
You better sell a different one.
Yeah.
better not sell the one you just bought.
That's the big difference here as well.
Well, no,
If
that's
Dominic Black,
still perfectly legal. They got to prove that you bought that with the intention of selling it for profit, which then you should have an FFL, or
Right.
that you made a straw purchase because you were buying it for somebody else. But there's a reason straw purchases are rarely ever prosecuted. And that's because they're inherently hard to prove.
Right.
Unless in this case, somebody says, yeah, I bought it for them. And, I filled out the 4473. I put my name on it. And I lied. And, because again, you hand me money, say, hey, get this for me. And I do all the paperwork and get it and just give it to you, straw purchase. But if I were to buy it myself and say, yeah, I bought it and, it just wasn't for me. And buddy was like, I like it. And I was like, okay, here you go. Yeah. And he gave me cash. Well, now that's a private sale.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I was looking at too as well.
Sorry, what's that?
When it came to specifically the way that Dominic Black did things, because he and Kyle were talking about his original AR. If he had said something to Kyle that day and been like, oh, if you want to buy this one off me when you turn 18 or something like that, and then gotten a down payment from Rittenhouse in cash or whatever, and then use that money to buy himself a second gun, that would have been a different story altogether.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
And it would have avoided all this entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, I could be wrong, man. My understanding was one way. Hey, man, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I get what you're talking about, but I mean, we're not all lawyers, on the gun world. We don't know every single law from each state. That's what makes it, hard. And talking about it and stuff, it just enlightens you with what's out there, that we should know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would like to say before we move on, though, that the author of this article is Richard Moorhead.
Dick Moorhead.
It's amazing.
Roll calls in the back.
Oh, he is? Good.
Here's
He
the
can
back.
stay there. He can stay there. Sons of bitches. Oh, shit. I let him in by accident. Crap.
Moorhead Dick in the yellow pages.
Moorhead.
And so let me break it down to you, Midnight. So, yes, George is correct. It depends on different states about different laws and different ways that they interpret that law. But if you give money to someone to buy a gun, regardless, it is considered a straw purchase in the eyes of the ATF, because the person that is physically filling out the form is not paying for the firearm. It's the same way as I got caught up when I first started with a person that was buying a gun with someone else's credit card. That is considered a straw purchase, and that is a no. You cannot buy guns for other people unless it's here like a gift.
Yeah,
Gifting a firearm is different. It's a different. That's a gray area in it. But if you say it's my buddy's birthday and I'm going to buy him a gun, that is considered a straw purchase. That's considered a straw purchase.
The paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the best
Yeah.
thing
Unless
to do
your buddy filled out
gonna,
the paperwork for it.
Yeah. The best thing to do if you were buying, somebody a rifle for their birthday and stuff like that, give them the money, and then they buy it and fill out the paperwork, and then it's totally
exactly. Legal. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, just buy it for yourself and then sell it to him.
Unless you're like say you gift it,
transfer the
here,
paper.
Merry Christmas. Here's your first AR-15. Merry Christmas. That's your birthday. That's the only different way that you can do it.
Yeah, and if you look at the guy from Florida, where the ATF arrived at his house because he sold a handgun at a gun show that was used in a crime that was traced all the way back to him, he got popped for it, and he told him not to sell any more guns unless it's through an FFL. That's the reason. That's considered the gun show loophole that everybody talks about, but which is perfectly legal in those states. In some states, it's not legal in private transactions. There's a lot of stipulation with that law. If Kyle Rittenhouse gave this guy money and said, keep this gun at your house, or that guy said, I'll keep this gun at your house every time you come over, that's considered a straw purchase because that guy didn't fill out the paperwork. Rittenhouse didn't fill out the paperwork for it, but he gave the guy the money to purchase that gun. That's a straw purchase. That's a straw purchase in the eyes of the ATF. That is coming from an ATF agent's mouth that I know. There's a lot of stipulations that come along with it. That's why if you look at it, the guy kind of annoys me, but the CRS firearms guy, when he considers something that's going to be a straw purchase, he has both people fill out paperwork to deter the straw purchase. Because if you're buying a gun for a guy and he doesn't have the balls to fill out the paperwork himself, guess what? He's probably a restricted person. But that's only how the gun shops that you shop at look at straw purchases. What is a straw purchase? You see what I'm saying here?
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get myself in trouble here, but a couple of weeks ago, I didn't fill out a 4473 and I bought 10,000 straws.
Yeah, right.
Were they for you or for somebody else?
Black ones too. Black ones.
MidnightRangeTM, you're a wild man. I
But
went
if you buy more than 5 straws at once, they have to be reported to the ATF.
Nope.
Yeah, you can't do that in California.
You have
You
that.
have to have the paper straw.
Think of the turtles.
They just they fell right off the back of a truck too, man. They opened up a truck, just gave me a whole case of them. It was crazy.
And another thing that rolls into this is the murder trial I testified in. They tried to kind of play the purchase card, but they couldn't because the original person filled the paperwork, used the gun to defend himself. So you have to look at some of the law that comes into it. That's why it's so gritty. It's so nitty gritty when it comes down to the deep, because the ATF will do anything to pin you down. The ATF is scumbags, dude. It's a scumbag organization that works on scumbag techniques to get people to be deterrent on buying firearms or defending themselves. We all have to depend on the government. You know how that goes. We all have to depend on these people because they're going to save us. They're going to lift us up out of poverty or do whatever they're going to do. But that's some tactics the ATF, when the ATF goes to gun shows and does that stuff, and approaches people. I've seen multiple videos on that where they go to gun shows to try and purchase guns from people. And if they don't follow, I don't know how your laws are, but like if you don't ask them for their carry permits or something on those lines, they'll pop you for that. You didn't do the proper procedures. That's why the guy in Florida was like, I'm going to use that for my defense, because I asked him if he had a valid driver's license. I looked at it. He's 21 or older, so he could purchase a handgun. He had an in-state ID. I believed it to be valid, and that's what he told the ATF agents when they came to his house. That's an interesting story. And I forgot the name of the YouTuber. He's a pretty popular one. That stuff that he's posted, and he's publicly defended. The ATF showed up and told him, you can't sell any more private guns. You can't sell any of your property to anybody else unless it's a dealer. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. It's crazy how they put you in that whirlwind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's all based on state law too.
Yeah.
I'd say it's not just the ATF; it's also FBI. I mean, they claim that this footage was edited, and then they can't even find the original video footage and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I did hear that they lost and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rittenhouse, if he does not block this, it's got to be some kind of catastrophic evidence that totally points in a different direction. But there's people all around that scene. He's got the molesting guy. You know what I'm saying? There's multiple people shooting there. You know what? And I'll keep on saying, I watched it live. I wondered the guy in the background was with a gun where flashes were coming from his muzzle. It's on video. You can't deny that. So how does Kyle know where the
Well, he finally lost him. He was roboting bad.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering if he was gonna dip out.
Yeah, and he is right about that one with Szymanski, because all the prosecution, a bunch of other people were all like, "Oh, he was pointing the gun up and firing." No, he was pointing it directly at Kyle's direction and firing that first round.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Do you guys see this?
This is arguing with you in the stand. That's hilarious.
What's the matter? What's up, buddy?
Oh, did I cut out there?
You did.
Yeah,
you dropped. You were roboting real bad, and you dropped completely out.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, that's okay. Did you guys see this Houston thing with Travis Scott concert? Like 8 people at least, 8 people dead, bunch more injured. It's crazy.
Yeah, people were sitting there getting injected with methamphetamines in the neck.
That's what they're saying is it's security. It even says here a security guard pricked in the neck with a needle. They don't know if that's. I'm not really. I was gonna talk about it a little bit, but there's still some stuff that needs to come out. So I don't really know a whole lot enough about it yet. I've watched a couple of videos on it and stuff like that, but there's still some stuff that I think they need to figure out and has to. I mean, they're going to have to do some tests on people to it'd be interesting to see that kind of stuff because they're talking about somebody walking through the crowd and actually jabbing people with a needle, which I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it obviously wouldn't surprise me. People do fucking horrible shit. What I will say is that there's something to be said for the responsibility of the artist and the employees when they see or suspect that something is happening as far as the safety of concert goers or attendees. There's some videos of a girl and a young girl climbing up some steps or some ladders up to a camera guy and yelling at the camera guy that there's a girl that's dead or she's dying or something. I forget exactly what she said, and I think she said that she's dead. And the camera guy just sort of brushes him off and doesn't really pay attention to that. And that's really shitty. And that's something that dude has to live with for the rest of his life. But it also, I don't know at what point that happened. Who knows if that maybe she was the first one to die. I don't know, that was killed. And they didn't stop the show. It's tough. I understand that a lot of crazy shit happens at concerts, but when people are visibly, unconscious and the show doesn't stop, I think the artist has a responsibility to stop. And I know at one point he did stop to say some stuff about one person, but it was pretty nuts. We can talk about it maybe next week. If I'd like to see if if they do like toxicology reports on any of the people that passed away, if they all, if any kind of drugging happened and, if that had anything to do with it before we talk about
they were crowd surfing dead bodies while that guy was on stage humming verses. It was just raw, dude. That was bad.
One girl, I know I did see that one girl was a nurse. I did hear one girl was a nurse and she passed out and they lifted her up and sort of crowd surfed her, like you said, over to like the medics, and she woke up, I think, and then actually started helping people. I don't know if that story is true. I did see that in a video So that they talk to this girl or whatever. I don't know if it's true, if the story's straight or not. I don't know. And that's why I say I'm not a huge fan of going into a whole lot of stuff if it's super fresh and we don't really know what happened, because I don't like to, continue to start, you have to put wrong info out there.
The only thing I've heard about it is that one of the 8 was from Ohio. It was like a college kid from here.
Say it again. I didn't hear what you said.
One of the 8 people that was dead was one of the college kids from here in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only thing I've really heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Well, they also showed. At the outside gate before it got back, before it happened inside. Like when the show was happening, people pushing through the gates and just like sort of breaking into the place, without because it was so. People that didn't have tickets, they wanted to get in. Obviously, they just basically started to push their way in, and once a couple of people got through the gate or whatever, it just turned into a mob of people, which is super dangerous. And that's, man, I'll tell you, that's tough because you kind of put faith into people to sort of play by the rules and not try and storm the place. So I don't know how you really stop that. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not sure what you do. I don't know how big of I don't know if this place was, I know it's not a temporary event structure or whatever, but I don't know how big the gates were. I don't know how big the fences were or anything like that. So I'm not sure.
From my understanding, it was like a fenced-in parking lot, basically.
Okay. So it was probably pretty weak fences and stuff. You know what I mean? I would imagine if it's temporary, like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens here, what comes out in the next week, and we'll talk about it maybe.
Yep.
Instagrams, and then we're gonna call it a night. We'll do some Instagrams, call it a night, get some sleep. Got to get up early. Okay, you know what? Hold on one second. Let me make sure that I shared this correctly. Share screen and share audio. There we go. Your life sucks when your life sucks when not a single person in the room is interested in looking at your big tits.
It's a polite stare.
I like this yawn. We've all seen them, Laura. Put them away.
That's that 69 Cougar.
Yeah, there you go.
That's funny.
True story. I once saw a resume from an application to be the sous chef at a hotel I was working at. Within the key skills, it said reasonably good at following instructions. Reasonably good, huh? That'll get you a job every time.
Reasonably.
At least he's honest.
Yeah. Mother of transgender bathroom rapist blames victim. You're 15. You can reasonably defend yourself. All right. So this is the mother, apparently, of the kid that had second time the kid had raped a girl or sexually assaulted a girl.
Well, good. I think we should start letting 15-year-old girls have firearms in the bathroom.
There you go. The boy's mother said in an interview that her son, who had last week was found guilty on 2 counts of rape, was not transgender, despite reports alleging that he was. Which that's true. I mean, he was not transgender. He's transvestite, I suppose. She said he just likes to wear skirts sometimes. But she also defended her son's actions pertaining to the sexual assault, falsely alleging that at the time of the May 28th assault, he wanted to have sex in the bathroom with somebody that was willing. The mother then proceeded to blame the victim for not doing more to fight off her rapist. You're 15. You can reasonably defend yourself. You're not just going to sit there and take it. And so because there was a presence of a fight, there wasn't a presence of a fight, he felt it was okay to keep going, she said. All right. There you go.
So she's Muslim then.
I guess. I don't know.
The fuck?
Did you guys hear about the other stuff there in Loudoun County middle schools?
No, like what?
No,
Maybe.
there
I
was
don't
a
know.
whole bunch of inappropriate touching at the middle schools.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, that place is a shit show.
A lot of cheek grabbing.
If you've ever dealt with fish sauce or smelled fish sauce, it says this is the best guy repellent.
No. Ugh,
You'd be like, whoa.
that's hardcore.
When my daughters are old enough to date, so going through their friggin' clothes and just rubbing that all over it.
There you go. So it says, when it's time to go, it's time to go. This is from American Spartan Apparel. I don't know where I saw this. This dude is in a wheelchair. I'm not sure if they're wheeling him out of jail to go to a hospital possibly, or who knows what. I don't really know.
It was to his court hearing.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
And he snags this dude's gun, and I didn't think he got it out at first. I don't think he got it out, but at first I didn't think he did, but he did get it. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So now this dude's kind of turtling on his back. He's having a hard time. I don't know why. Yeah. And this guy gets plugged.
When your legs don't work like they used to.
Yeah. Super lucky, man. That cop is super lucky.
I mean, dude looks big enough to where he could have just sat on him and went, nope, don't care. You can't reach.
You know that? He didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to get canceled.
Says, guys, my car is making way more Mountain Dew than I can drink. What do I do with the excess?
You cut it with about 50% water and sell it as diet.
Oh, there you go. This
Mountain Dew Zero.
This one perplexes me. It says, waitress says she was paid 1 cent for 6 weeks of restaurant work.
What?
Okay, so here's how it works, okay? And everybody in the comment section is freaking out. They're like, oh, that whole restaurant's going to shut down, and oh, this is bullshit, and not even $1, and how much you get to, So some people in here get it. It says how much she get tipped. Pretty sure that depends on the check. Right. Servers get 0 checks all the time.
Yep.
Your daughter's a server. She sometimes and a business, a restaurant has to give you a check. Legally, you're supposed to get a check, even if it's a cent, even if it's 0. We used to get servers at the restaurant all the time. They would get handed 0 paychecks. They would just tear it up and throw it in the trash. They'd be like, don't even give me a check. They're like, we have to give it to you. It's the law. We have to give you a check. So when a server doesn't make, when they're making all cash and they're getting $2.83 an hour or $3 an hour or whatever they're getting an hour, their taxes still have to get paid. They come out of that check. So people get checks of $0 or 1 cent or whatever all the fucking time. And
yeah, when I first saw about she only got 1 cent, I was going to say, okay, how many plates, trays, or cups did you break? Because you always hear it crashing, a sound, when you're at a restaurant or something, So maybe that's what they did. They took that money from me.
Well, you're not supposed to. I don't think it's legal to be able to charge somebody for breakage either, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of things over the years that places do that you're not really supposed to or whatever. But this is that This is that girl.
If that's okay with you, real quick. Take me, let's do it.
That dude sucks, man. It sucks. I would like to think that any one of us in that position would, at the very least, start calling somebody and saying, "Hey, I got somebody up here that says there's a girl in there that's dead, or there's a person in there that's dead," and he just waves them off, doesn't want to hear it. It sucks.
Yeah, as a security and safety, thing going on and stuff, they should have done something about it quick, because like I said, one gets hurt, then things can escalate. I think, and it can just get even more worse and stuff. That's why there's got to be safety protocols so people do not get injured or trampled on or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had a wonderful night.
Well, he did.
Yeah, true. Maybe it was this guy. It's better to come a shitload than to shit a cum load.
Isn't that Night Strike's avatar?
It used to be.
Duke Nukem.
Yep. Maybe it was this guy. Any good remedies for sunburn? This is killing me.
Nice.
Oh, this guy. Worst luck ever. Brazilian man eaten by piranhas after jumping into a lake to escape a swarm of bees.
That's just like, nope.
Yep, that blows, man.
It sounds like a good go for the next Final Destination movie.
Pink posted this one. It says, "I have some funny customers. We got stickered with Brandon." It said, "I did that. Sorry for the inconvenience."
Did you guys see that one thing with the dude with the stickers for like the last month or so of like different price increases?
No.
Yeah, NEA did something on his chat the other day, and it was like, or maybe it was on his chat last night actually. It was a whole bunch of ones. There was one that went up like $2 or $3 in a week's time.
Oh wow. Bottomless breadsticks implies the existence of topless breadsticks, and now I'm hungry and horny at the Olive Garden. My favorite meals to stretch apart. You know it. I just like this little guy.
Put your shield on.
Little helmet. Yeah, you got his little helmet on.
Cool. Safety first.
That's right.
Gets off his bike, people go, "That is one ugly ass baby."
It said, "And that's how I met your mother." So obviously the room is like super dark. It's so funny. He grabbed the dude's hand and starts running with him. It's hilarious. I love it.
He's gonna find a real surprise.
And this next song is called "Stop Eating My Fruit Snacks After You Bang My Mom." Poor little fella.
Way moist.
Yeah, that channel's super
Trump.
funny. A lot of those goofy ones are that channel is really, he's got a lot of funny stuff. Oh, this dude. Okay, so you've seen the airbag pranks where they put the airbag. They call it like, I think if you watch Ridiculousness, I think they call it popcorning because you pop up like popcorn. But this dude, man. Holy shit.
Dang. That was a fart.
Dude.
How pissed would you be, though?
Dude, he flies like 6 feet in the air. And as soon as he lands, you can tell they're all like, holy shit, this was way crazy.
I don't even think I'd be pissed just because I'd be in so much pain.
Oh my god, yeah. That would hurt like hell, man.
I would have hate to be the first one to laugh because they thought that I would be involved with them, the whole thing.
Wokeism ruins everything. The menu for COP26 delegates has come under fire for serving meat and dairy in almost 60% of its dishes. A spokesperson for Rebels Animal calls it like serving cigarettes at a lung cancer conference. Oops. Turns out people like meat and dairy. Babe, what's wrong? You haven't even touched your shoop. Good shoop. A wife sent her husband this picture with a message and said, "Come home early. I've got a surprise for you." So he raced home, almost crashing the car, thinking he was about to get lucky, only to find that she just adopted a black cat.
Matt, the kind of pussy I was hoping for, honey.
That's right, for sure. Kaepernick's sad that no slave owner will enslave him no matter how many times he tries out to be a slave. Bummer.
Probably too worried about how flammable his hair looks.
True. Yeah. Oh my god.
haircut.
Yeah, he's a fucking walking fire hazard. 2 Live Moo, one year $20 bills got to this guy. It says, "Got this out of an ATM today. I sucked the dick for this. Stay in school. The struggle is real." The struggle is real.
It does look like my handwriting.
I'm gonna start writing that all my money.
That's right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Karen, oh
no. Did you ever see this one? Oh man. Karen, this chick, this lady comes trying to walk across the street. She even starts like she stutter steps because she almost stopped. Look, like when she looked to see this guy coming down the hill, almost stopped and then decided to try and make it. And this is rough. He blasts
I have $50.
Once told me though.
Oh, dude. I mean, she looks like she's unconscious for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be a dent in the pavement.
Boy. Yeah, that's rough.
That's a waste of a perfectly good white woman.
That's what you get.
I'm not even worried about
Power
her.
Go,
Crackosaurus.
Look at this Power Ranger. Go, Power Ranger. Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
So, if you've ever watched, everybody, there's I forget, there's a website that's devoted to this actually, I think, and it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the old one, the one with the original
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder, the old one. When Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe's like, all the old people, all the grandparents are all bedridden until what's his face Charlie gets the golden ticket. Then all of a sudden, Grandpa Joe's like all jumping up and down. Mm-hmm. Grandpa Joe, when asked to work to feed his family, no. Grandpa Joe, when he finds out about Charlie's golden ticket, Grandpa Joe's the worst person ever.
I have a friend of mine who is in a Facebook group where they all hate Grandpa Joe, and they come up with the weirdest memes.
That's funny. Yeah, he's
dude, how can you hate Grandpa Joe? Come on.
He's dirtbag.
He goes, no, dude, we hate him, man. He didn't do nothing until Charlie got that golden ticket. It's like,
yep.
Oh, okay, that's your point.
You guys dressed up like a forklift operator. Pew!
This is what your life has come to.
He's like, it says 100% forklift certified. He's like, hell yeah.
Squiblet.
Yeah, Squiblet. That's Squib's kid.
Little squiblet.
It's Squiblet. Yeah, that's Squiblet right there. There you go. Perfect. Have you seen Squid Games? It's this crazy show about people in debt signing up to kill each other to entertain the rich. Anyway, let's get you enlisted.
Damn.
Yeah. Whiteness remains undefeated. Let's wait to see who's the white suburban voter went to see who those white suburban voters went for tonight in Virginia. Any guesses? You don't get out much, do you? Oh, geez. Still with this shit again, too. Superman artist studio requests LAPD patrols after Superman bisexuality backlash. Dumb bastards. So stupid. Okay. So House of a Thousand Corpses, right? The guy that plays it's Bill Moseley. He plays the brother, right?
Uh-huh.
He was on a plane. Where a passenger got carted off. He posted it on. So this is him, Bill Moseley. My Atlanta LA flight diverted to Dallas to extract an unruly passenger. By the way, the airport police who escorted said passengers off the plane looked like they could all play guard or tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. So he posted that on Instagram, right? And then like a day later, CNN picked it up and they put his Instagram post on CNN. And I was like, wow, look at that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty fun.
No, not the rubber band watermelon.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The watermelon with the watermelon with rubber bands around it, and it's it's not that it happens, is it's always kind of neat and you see them like explode or whatever, but the people's reactions make it the best.
That's the last rubber band I had. That's the last rubber band I had.
I'd have gotten knocked the fuck out.
That would look like Kennedy getting shot.
Ooh, too soon.
Your sex tape gets leaked.
From the man from the
title
grassy
says-
knoll.
Yeah, your sex tape gets leaked. Oh no. The title says big dick. Aha.
Red light.
Yeah. Ye old Tokyo Drift.
Oh, he's got a blinker on.
Yeah. Screech.
Sparky.
Sparks. It was pretty awesome.
Oh man.
Grand Theft Armish. 2 horsepower.
Those damn Mennonites.
This guy says Mennonites, more like Shreddonites. Paddy wagon.
That is great.
Yeah. Sparks flying off of it. I like this. I can't unsee Captain Tiny Arm and his baby sidekick Mega Hand. I don't know about you, but
this looks like it's gonna end in tears.
Never ever.
Uh-oh.
He's like, son of a bitch.
You ain't even going all that fast.
Wanted to unwind after work.
Well, now put it in reverse so I can spin the other way.
Yeah. My grandpa fought in World War II as some kind of electrician. He had 2 lightning bolt emblems on his helmet.
Oof.
Too soon? Russian scientists defrosted several prehistoric worms and 2 woke up. After thawing, the 2 worms began to move and eat. One is 32,000 years old and the other is 41,700 years old. This is not the year. Freeze them back for sure. Put them back in the ice, please.
Wait for the Tomorrow War.
Yep.
Yep.
Video shows mother fighting off home intruder who ran towards her 2 young daughters. It's frightening. Dude just pulls in and starts blasting him. Your cavity watching you raid your child's Halloween candy.
True.
Yeah. This one's good too. If gas station boner pills were people. Ron Perlman gives ex-wife the house $12,500 a month and 20% of his yearly income in divorce settlements after 38 years of marriage. Gets to keep his Tesla. Oof.
Jesus.
I would have given her the Teslas and I would have kept the rest myself.
Time to get Gemma in there and kick her ass.
Here you go. Island boy, spaghetti and gas station boner pills.
You tagged me in that one.
Did I?
Yeah.
There you go.
Boner pills.
They saw an opportunity and they took it.
Oh my god.
Women's care specialist, mammogram and ultrasound.
Boob.
Yep. I like this. It's an older code, sir, but it still checks out.
Nerds.
Star Wars.
It says that's a load off my chest. Maybe a load on your chest. Who knows?
Oof, that costs you $350 at least.
That's a bummer. A fucking pipe burst or something. Vegan roast, meat gravy. Okay.
Oh.
I got excited.
Look how bummed out that dude looks. He looks so defeated. Poor guy.
He's like, I got to clean this up too.
Yeah.
Teams poke, pride, and examine. Come on, boys, hurry up. Look at that shake there. Look at this. Mr. Farmer got your bid. 30 to you. Teams poke.
Ugh. So dumb.
Yep, I agree.
It's the most ridiculous shit ever. Okay, so don't go into the NFL. Don't go into the NFL if it's so bad. Quit. Quit the NFL. Tell everybody. Tell every person of color, that every non-white, that quit the NFL. That'll show them.
Yep, that will show them.
It probably would, because like 70% of the league would be gone.
Yeah. Just then we could get in there.
Whoa, easy there, handler.
Well, not George.
Not me.
We wouldn't want George to be involved in that slavery. So dumb.
But I'd be making money.
So I didn't get a chance to look this up. I forgot about it. Philadelphia, first city to pass driving equality bill, prevents police from pulling over motorists for minor traffic offenses. The hell?
Define minor.
Beats a shit.
Define minor. What the heck is that shit?
After the bill is signed by Mayor Kenny on Wednesday, it won't take effect until 120 days later. According to the mayor's office, legislation is likely to be enacted through executive action by November 3rd. The city council passed the driving primary will be it says now certain motor vehicle code infractions will be classified as primary or secondary offenses. Police will be able to conduct traffic stops for primary offenses. However, secondary violations such as bumper issues or broken tail light or one broken headlight an unlawful operation without evidence of emissions inspection, among other offenses, will no longer be sufficient to stop drivers. So if you got a tail light out, they can't pull you over now.
So now they have to break both taillights.
Yep.
I feel like the broken taillight should be a primary.
I would think so.
That
Or
seems
no
just
license.
blatant.
It's a safety issue.
Like here in PA, like seatbelt offense is a secondary.
Isn't the Philly mayor the same dipshit who was all giddy about becoming a sanctuary city?
Beats the shit out of me, dude. I Philly and Pittsburgh were both douchey.
They're friggin' morons.
Is that isn't that wonderful? Well, I hear gunshots in
St. Louis Mayor Tishora Jones didn't flinch as gunshots interrupted news conference.
my neighborhood every night. My son and I fall asleep to the lullaby of gunshots in the distance every night because I'm the
Crazy. Just
Little
not
does she
even
know
like,
that she lives next to a firing range.
What? She's the mayor,
yeah.
and she's got that going on in her neighborhood every night. How shitty is St. Louis? That the
For real.
neighborhood
Yeah.
that
The
mayor
mayor
lives
has to
in.
live in an area like that.
Yeah. And hey, I'm cool. Look, oh shit. See you later, Bob.
Ooh.
See ya. Turns out
Bob
you're not
went
as cool
home.
as you thought. Turns out he's not as cool as he thought.
Oh, lucky that that electric pole moved ever so slightly out of the way.
All right. So this is in New York. Wait, I don't know if this is. Yeah, New York. This dude gets pissed off. There's a Molotov cocktail inside of a convenience store. Right? Dude comes hauling ass out. Super lucky. Guy lights another one. Goes to throw another one, and this guy stopped him. Luckily, just good on him, man.
Yeah.
Good on him, man. That dude's. But how lucky is this first guy? He threw it right at that guy. I don't know if you saw it. It hit right beside that guy. He was super lucky it didn't just coat him in alcohol, gasoline, or whatever it is. It probably. I mean, it went up pretty quick. I don't think it was alcohol. It looks like it was probably gas or kerosene or something. But crazy. Actually, that's it. We're back to last week.
Wow.
Because here's the bear midriff and bear midriff. So that's it. That's it for this week, which is fine. I got to get some sleep. I got a big day tomorrow. We got tomorrow. We got a bunch of prep. We got a bunch of training. We got a bunch of garbage to do at the restaurant. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have some invite-only nights for practice, friends and family kind of things. And then I think next week, I think we're open to the public, I believe.
So did any of you guys get an invite? Because I didn't get an invite. Did you?
No, and
No,
that
apparently
should
we're not
either.
friends or family.
Yeah, I
That
can't
should
make it.
That
See
should
how
tell
great-
you something. Your invites they must have got lost in the mail. It happens.
No.
I knew it.
Will
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay be there?
Yeah, I sent him one too. I don't think it got there. I don't need that kind of shit. I don't need somebody screaming in my ear while I'm trying to figure out how to cook stuff.
You never that at home.
A local Pennsylvania man is under suspicion of stabbing Gordon Ramsay in the eye with a drizzle spoon.
Yeah. Shitty drizzle
With a
spoon.
greasy spoon. Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's blunt. It'll hurt more.
Yeah. No.
I forgot to mention. I finally got to see that the closer, the Dave Chappelle special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it a lot. And the thing you're right. If you listen to what he's saying,
right,
he makes sense.
Yeah,
and
they
he
just
even
don't
tells you. He even tells you, listen. If you listen, what I'm saying and stuff, man. I mean, I tell you, man, it was a badass show, and I mean, I tell you, it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, his the one that he came out with before this one, like a year or two ago or whatever, I thought was really, really funny. This one was funny. It had some funny moments to it, but you could tell it was more about him and his personal life and trying to get some stuff out there. And it's kind of a shame.
It was more storytelling than just jokes.
And you can tell he's gonna be taking a breather here for a little bit or something, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, the wife and I were talking about it, and you know, I'd said to her, I was like, man, when Dave Chappelle is gone, when he finally hangs it up, there's gonna be a big hole to fill, because there's not many people out there like him that are willing to push back against the wokeness and push back against the mob mentality kind of stuff, that has enough money and they can just say fuck you. And, you know, there's not enough, you know, him, Rogan, you know, there's a couple of them out there. And you know, when this kind of word crime stuff started to pop up, you know, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago or whatever it was, and Canada went super crazy. Canada's like with Jordan Peterson and you know, all that stuff was going on up there, and they're like, you know, there was comedians that literally got thrown in jail, you know, and fined because of jokes they made. Like there's every comedian in the United States should be pushing against that, and they're not. They're just letting it happen. They're not, you know, they're worried about themselves. They're worried about their money. They're worried about their legacy. They're worried about getting the next movie deal or something like that, which I understand. You got to make money. You got to make a living, but not nearly enough of them are pushing back against it. And if they don't, they're going to lose their ability to say what they want. And then
I mean, they'll be censored on what they could say in jokes, in jest, and it'll be kind of like they'll become like the comedians back in the 50s, you know, like Buddy Hackett and what's his name?
Well, even Carlin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
where they really say funny stuff, but they don't make fun of other people and stuff, you know, like that.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be like like I said, Carlin and those guys, some of those guys went through, because they would say things on stage and the cops would arrest them. They would, you can't say that on stage. Well, why the fuck not? Why not? Why can't I say what I want to say on stage? It's not towards anybody specific. I'm not looking at somebody even in the audience and saying this is about you. Like that, it's scary to think that so few people are voicing up against what's happening. And if they really would get together a lot, you know, and start, you know, taking a stand against it, they could slow it down or stop it. Hopefully. I don't know that they'll ever stop it. It's just they're not doing anything. They're relying on it's like they're looking towards a few key people to kind of make their statements, like Rogan and Chappelle, where they're saying like, I'll say what I want. Fuck you, you know, because I can, and I can afford to do it. And they're not supporting them, I don't think, enough. It sucks.
Yeah.
So on that, you guys got anything to plug? Moo, Ape?
Nope, I got nothing, man. Good talking to you guys.
Hit or miss, Tuesday nights, 9:00.
There you go. Go see the Night Strikes, the Strike Noodle, barbecue, Tupperware.
We have.
You guys should hang out more often. You keep one of you keeps the other one fresh.
Yeah,
I'm always fresh. What are you talking about?
That's right.
But no, we've got 2 bills coming to vote in the PA Senate this week. Well, Monday and Tuesday. One's for constitutional carry, and the other one's expression of preemption bill. So,
yeah, I saw the constitutional carry. That's as long as here's the thing with PA is since we have carry with a permit and we have open carry without a permit, that makes it, it sounds weird, but that makes it harder to get constitutional carry, I think, because there's less people fighting for something like that. They're like, we're okay the way we are. We don't need to really worry about it, kind of thing,
Yep.
Makes it a little bit tougher. If we were like New York, there'd be more people out there pushing for it. Tupperware, you got anything going on?
Yeah, I'll be doing some more grandstands and probably a couple war gamings in the next day or so.
That's cool. Keep an eye out for that.
Discuss some more Rittenhouse trial and whatnot as soon as I watch through it and everything.
Yeah, if anything pops up, shoot me an email or something. If anything, if anybody says anything interesting or anything kind of crazy happens, it's I'm normally not super into watching trial stuff, but just having so much hype around it does make it interesting to watch and see what's going to happen. It makes you got some anticipation, and I think it's going differently than I think. Maybe not that we thought, as I think a lot of us sort of looked at it and could see something like the way it's happening happen, because it's tough to say that wasn't self-defense, but it's interesting to see it all going down. So it's cool. I'm ready for a nap. Ape, get us out of here, man.
Ladies, gentlemen, and genesis of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. This concludes our regular program, but we'll be back at roughly the same time next week. The Gun Channels Community Monday night programming lineup, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's hasty headlines with never enough ammo. Maybe. Who knows? I think Yankee's going to have something between there as an opening chat before Never Enough Ammo's open chat at 9 p.m. Eastern. Check out GunTube.org as a free and unrestricted Pro2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over to Patreon and send them the monies. For cool and unique 2A swag, go over to GearWebsites.com. That's GearWebsites.com for cool and unique 2A swag. And remember, a Slim Jim is sandwich, a ham dog is candy, and keep your fudge loaded.
There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I know there was a bunch of other people on the night, so that was a tough one. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you next week. Take it easy.
Peace.
Bye. See ya.
Shout out being fringe.